Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh my god. Usually I take bigger breaks between episodes of Umineko, but I'm so enthralled. I'm so enthralled by where this could possibly be fucking going that I knew I just had to get to episode 4 as soon as possible. And I feel like October is a fitting month for it, don't you? Hello, Balin Baloo. So, yeah, it's the 4th episode. We're finally here. It took us, like... When did I start streaming this? We met the goal in, like, March? I think I started in, like, April? So, like, 6 months, pretty much. We've been streaming the question arcs for, like, 6 months. It's crazy. Obviously, I had breaks in between episodes and stuff, but... I know, I did only slightly miss the Umineko days. But, it was... I mean, we were in our Transformers week. That was important. IMO. Last week was Transformers week. You know, we're pretty close, right? Pretty close to the Umineko days. We're only a couple off from the 4th. And I couldn't stream earlier this week. Sorry. I'm a busy princess. Even for Beato. Now, yeah, it's time for episode 4. I'm excited. I'm excited for episode 4 to see how it goes. It's getting pretty crazy. New characters keep showing up. You would think, you know, because of the setting of this game being on an island, the scope of new characters you could keep introducing would be pretty limited. But Ryakishi finds a way, doesn't he? We're just met with this ominous picture of Beato for episode 4. Very spooky. At least spooky in context. The picture itself isn't spooky, but just the context, the implications. This episode emotionally devastated you throughout. Luckily, I'm built different. This would never happen to me, so I would never be emotionally compromised by a video game with a powerful story. That's just never happened before. I'm too strong-willed. I guess we should get to it, huh? I'm excited to jump in. I wanna find out what could possibly even happen. I consistently find myself saying that at the beginning of Umineko episodes, like, what? How do you even write more? How do you make more of this? Like, even episode 3 ended on kind of a cliffhanger. I'm like, where do you go from here? This one has some banger songs too. I'm looking forward to it. The music has been obviously one of the high points. Okay, episode 4. Oh fuck, I clicked on it too fast. Hang on, no, hang on. Take me back. Take me back. Take me back. Take me back. I didn't get to read it. Take me back. I don't want to see any of this yet. Take me back. Hang on. I'm just gonna... There we go. I'm just gonna quit the game. I'm just gonna quit the game. So I didn't see anything. There we go. Okay. Episode 4, Alliance of the Golden Witch. See, we're here now. It's okay. Everything's fine. Good morning. How shocking that you haven't been forced to surrender even now. By this point, even I am forced to expect a lot from you. Not all of the game takes place on the board. How about taking a little peek at the outside this time around? Okay! They say that if you know your enemy, you need not fight 100 battles. The difficulty level depends on you. The manner in which you fought up until now will greatly influence the difficulty of this game. Alright, sure. Whatever you say, Ryakishi. Whatever you say, dude. I've just been reading the fucking story. This shit's not real. So we're outside the game board, are we? I don't know what that means at this point in time. I can hazard a couple guesses, but I don't know the scope. October 4th, 1986. The first day. We're back here again. We're always coming back. We're right back here. Not even... We're going straight to it. Not even showing anything taking place before it like we did in the last couple episodes. What? Oh, hi, Hideyoshi.
大丈夫かバトラ君。
大丈夫か?
もう地上やで。これ以上は。
Oops. I pressed the button by accident. I keep doing that. It's alright, I got the gist of what he said. I don't want to restart again. In the lobby of Nijima Airport, Maria dashed around in excitement. Battler's uproar on the plane must have been hilarious. Excuse me, I have to abuse my daughter again. I haven't been taking notes. Well, I did make the Pepe Sylvia board that one time. That's pretty much all I've written down about this game. Oh wait, no, I also wrote theories about the epitaph. I posted that on Twitter. But that was like a whole part ago. That's probably changed by now. Like, if I were to re-examine it, I said I wouldn't examine the epitaph too much because it's supposed to be so hard, but then, like, literally every character started talking about it and I couldn't help myself. That's how they get you. That's how, like, that's fine. You don't have to think about it now. It's really hard. You have to know kanji. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I won't. And then every character started talking about it way earlier than I thought they would. Yeah, that was the Pepe Sylvia board, Pyrokoyo. I wouldn't describe Battler's body as huge. Everybody loves bullying Battler, and frankly, I support it. Asumu? Oh, right, his real mother, his birth mother. Kawaii.
子供は親が苦手がるものを危険だと学ぶものです。きっとバトラ君はアスムさんの
This feels like you're making fun of him too, George, just in a more clever way.
覚えてしまったんでしょうね。
Everybody's making fun of Battler today. What is this? Is this the make fun of Battler holiday? Like, they're going harder than usual. Stop talking about my dead wife that I cheated on. God. I love how... It's really funny how, like, every time Umineko, like, revealed, like, a new wrinkle to a character, like, how Kirie's, like, so fucking mad about Asumu all the time, even after she's died, it, like, just goes hard on it from then on. Like, it'll constantly remind you. It's so funny. Cars? I thought don't you have to take a boat? Or are the cars taking you to the boat? Right, okay, so this is after they land on the plane, and then cars are gonna take them to the harbor or whatever to ride the boat. I understand. Mate!
元気でいいわ。バトラ君とマリアちゃんがいてくれなかったら、機内の空気はさぞや硬かったでしょうね。
ありがとうよ。言葉通りの意味で受け取っとくぜ。ほら、ガキども、タクシー来てるぞ。
See, everybody's having a good time. We're all getting along. We're all bonding over making Battler feel like an idiot. Which is just, you know, that's the great thing to do. Hey, taxi! You would have been funny if just out of Maria's mouth came Neko Chaos's voice. Hey, taxi!
こらマリアもバトラ君ももうはしゃがない人にぶつかるわよ
The tone of Aunt Rose's voice grew a little frightening. When even Battler realized they were fooling around a bit too much, just as expected, he bumped into someone. Oh, who's this now?
バトラ君たちはあっちの車だよ。待たせちゃってるよ。
I feel like this might be an important person. It might just be nothing to it. It might just be like a funny detail. After George urged him to hurry on, Battler apologized to the person he had bumped into and ran up to his parents, who were telling him to come quickly. With a clunking sound, the doors on 3 taxis were shut one after another, and they departed for the harbor. As their taxis dashed away, the entire world grew suddenly dull and slowed to a halt. Voices, the wind, and even sound. All of it stopped, and all the people who were trying to move froze like the instant someone takes a photo, coming to a halt. People and machines and clock hands, even the dust dancing in the wind, were frozen. Some people who were walking froze with one leg still in the air. Scraps of paper dancing in the wind were pinned in midair, frozen in place. Then, among the shadows standing still in this unmoving world, the single one stirred. Zawardo! Hello, Ange. I figured it was you. It was a girl. The girl Battler had just bumped into. Though she had moved, it was a truly subtle thing. Her gaze dropped, her shoulders lowered a minuscule amount, and she sighed. That was all. In a normal world, that probably wouldn't even be taken as movement. But in this still world, it looked very out of place. Then, something else moved. It was a black cat wandering around the shadows near the taxi rank. Is that Burncastle in disguise like Sailor Moon? It came up right behind the girl, and leisurely changed its form into that of a human. I was right. I'm always right. This was no cat. It was a witch. Of course, the girl was also a witch. As the witch stood still, her gaze still downward, she muttered.
みんなが六軒島へ行くのを私は止められないのね止められないわ1986年10月4日にあなたはここにいない私がここにいたならみんなを止めることも不可能ではなかったの
So she can't directly interfere?
6歳の女の子がどう立ち回れば彼らを引き返させることができるのかもしこの場にいたなら確率はゼロではなかった
Neko Janai, that's right.
もしこの場にいたなら
What are my Ange thoughts so far? Well, I haven't gotten much of her, but she seems fun. I feel like, I don't know how much, you know, in actual reality, even though the end of episode 3 kind of set her up to be like a partner for Battler, right? Partners in crime. I don't know how much she'll be hanging around Battler, but if it is the case, I feel like they'll probably have a good dynamic, a good funny dynamic, because Battler is so hyperbolic in his emotions, and Ange is very deadpan so far.
ゼロでない確率ならば私は奇跡を探し出せる
You regret that you missed Beato and Virgilia's double trolling. That was so good. The fucking longest con, the biggest work. It was incredible. It's definitely a level of evil planning I aspired to. Witches never reform. With her head facing downward, the witch tightened her fists. They were trembling very slightly.
あなたが寝込んだのは1986年10月そしてベアとのゲーム版は10月4日から記録されている
No in or out.
あなたに体調を崩さない可能性が与えられていないつまり あなたは本来絶対にゲーム版に上がれない存在なの。
Also, you were like a baby, so...
恩着せがましくてありがとう。分かってるわ。こうしてお父さんやお母さんやお兄ちゃんの元気そうな姿を見られただけでも、これはとても素敵な奇跡なんだって。
Anj had tried to stand in the way of her family, attempting to stop them from leaving the airport and heading towards Rokenjima. However, it was impossible for her to exist in October 4th, 1986, so she couldn't do it. Now here we see a very rare alternative version of bluesky.jpg that is still quite often found in visual novels, which is grayscale sky.jpg. It's a very rare alternative, but you still see it. It's still a common use of imagery. Even though her brother had only bumped into her and apologized, even though he hadn't realized she was his own little sister, it had been such a miracle that she could cry. When Ange cries, that's the name of the video game. Not really.
嫌味を言ってごめんなさい。私はあなたにもらった奇跡を無駄になんかしないわ。頼もしいわね。さあ、彼らと一緒に行きましょう。六軒島へ。駒たちがもうすぐすべて揃う。第4のゲームが幕を開けるわ。
Fourth game.
レアともバトラももう席についてる。
They'll already be there. They're all waiting for you, Ange.
六軒島へ。私の、いや、みんなの運命を変えた1986年10月4日の六軒島へ。
What happened on that day? I'll expose it. I'll learn what it is. And I'll bring them back. As she stood there with her fists still clenched, she surely turned her face up to the heavens. A single teardrop from the depths of her eyes dripped down into the air. Wow! And when time started moving again, the two witches' figures were swallowed up by a blowing gale and erased in an instant. We have to hurry, Ange. Even now, Beato could be beating his ass in the quote retweets. But first, we have to see the OP. Wow. This animation is a little bit more elaborate than the last few. Like, it's still using the normal sprites and stuff, but it's a little more. There's a little bit more going on with, like, effects. How will these two die horribly this time? And how about them? Them, the seven, MILF with a gun. Yeah, this editing is like going way crazier than the first three. It's really cool. It's really cool what they can pull off just by using the basic sprites. Why are you here, Emetris? Thought we dealt with you already. Why are you back? We're here. We're back in the mansion.
おはようございます、お嬢様。これは上機嫌なご様子。快適なお目覚めのようですな。
快適な目覚めどころか。ワクワクして一睡もできなかったぞ。
I know, you totally ruined Battler's shit in that last one. It was great. Oh, what's so special about this one? It seemed that she truly had been so excited that she hadn't gotten any sleep. Did she show absolutely no signs of lacking sleep because she was young, or because she had the mind of a little kid? Perhaps both. Renovi chose not to say that aloud and laughed poop coo coo instead.
前回はバトラのやつを徹底的にケチョンケチョンにしてやった。
I know, you fucking beat his ass. You got him in the fucking work. You tricked me.
それにしてもあやつもまだへこんでるのではあるまいな。
へこんでいる
Dude, he must be fucking... Battler must be fucking heartbroken.
まあそのあやつめいい年してちょっと素直すぎるとことか。
I know, he must be seething so hard right now over being like fucking conned for like 80% of a chapter. It was insane. It was insane how early it started. Like pretty much from the moment Virgilia says that thing about the wind and the sun. That's when Beato had the idea and she just runs with it for like 15 hours. It was insane. One of the best works of my life.
ございますな。そこが魅力とも申しますが。
He's stupid and that's why he's charming.
そうであろうそうであろう。まあそれでだ。
Renova is just like, yes, milady, I understand exactly why you want to peg him. Frankly, I would do the same in your position.
コロッと豪快に。生まれてからただの一度も人に騙されたことのない無垢なバラのつぼみに。
This feels like a euphemism right here, Renove. I feel like you're talking about something else. This feels like doublespeak?
冬の朝。
Yeah, it was definitely like Virgilia gave her the idea, but it was all in the execution, and man, that was some 10 out of 10 execution. Yes, take his innocent art. It's never too far with Battle.
なんて不安になってしまうくらいに暴虐の限りを
I think it was awesome. I want to do this to someone.
ならへこむでしょうな。それはもう二度とお嬢様の顔も見て
He already did that once anyways. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you, B2. You're too mean.
分かっておるではないか。わらわはそのだな。いよいよ第4のゲームが始まるというのに、もしもあやつが意気消沈していて、
It would be such a pain.
ようなことがあったらまた面倒だなぁと思い、そうならば先に対策を準備した方が良いかと思い、お前に先にそれを問うたわけだ。
Well, yeah, of course, she's genuine. She wants to break his prostate, but she also wants him to give her all the attention she
で
desires.
したらやはり対策をご用意された方がよろしいでしょうな。残念ながらバトラ様はお嬢様の例の北風
Is she gonna do the same strategy again? She's gonna be like, Battler, I'm sorry. Please come back. It seems to work every time.
ショックというとどのくらい？
Beato lowered her voice slightly, asking timidly. Renovi followed suit and lowered his voice in the same way.
実は膝を抱いてうずくまられてもうだいぶになります。
She got him in the fetal
何
position.
度かお声をおかけしたのですがお返事をされません。お食事もお運びしたのですが手を触れた様子もありません。
He's just charging up a spin dash.
それは
You fucking broke him. He's mind broken. We can add that tag, mind break.
あやつそこまでへこんでおる。
He's been stuck in the Yamcha pose, exactly.
無理もありますまい。なんて敵におやりになる。
What was that, Renove? What is...
普通なら人間不信になりましょうな。
ほう、人間不信なら好都合。
Wait, this is good for me, isn't it?
人間など見限って魔女を信じると良いぞ。
You didn't sound so sincere, though.
ああ、
Whoa!
すまぬ。ふざけが過ぎた。
Beato had to joke about it, but the situation seemed to be quite serious, so that even she took the hint and hid her laughter.
そんなにも
How will we get Battler out of his funk? If maybe we'll just have to kill a bunch of people and we'll be like, oh, I guess I gotta solve a mystery.
第4のゲームの開始はもう少し待ってやった方が良いか？
ベルンカステル教のお客人もおいでになっております。
Maybe Anj will break him out of his funk.
第4のゲームは速やかに開始された方がよろしいでしょう。ただ、お嬢様はバトラ様に多少。
Battler, will it make you feel better if I use you as a footstool again? I know you liked it.
人な？どう使えばよいの？
Just do the wind and sun thing again.
あやつは落ち込んでいるのだから。
You just gotta like pretend to be nice to him a little bit and he'll eat it up. It's hilarious.
元気づけてやるとか。
心を暗く閉ざしたものに暗く
I love this jazzy background song. Sounds like something from Skullgirls. It's groovy.
その暗闇に負けないほどの
Wait, it has vocals.
ないでしょうな。
I didn't realize it had vocals. It's called Monochrome Clock. I'll have to look this up later and listen to it isolated. What is M. Zaki? Is that the name of the composer of this song? Damn, this goes hard. It's sexy. I like it. Oh, it got louder. Battler, stop being a baby. Oh, he's being bullied by the stakes again.
あんたごときにロドウェ様が焼いてくれたクロワッサンなんてもったいないもん。私が美味しく食べちゃおうかな。
Battler's stomach involuntarily growled at the fragrant smell of the croissant. His breakfast plate was empty, but Battler hadn't eaten any of it. The biggest glutton of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, Beelzebub, had waited for Renove to leave and had then come to snatch the food away. Battler had noticed, and they'd been really noisy ever since. Even though Beelzebub only had to give it back immediately or else throw it into her own mouth right away, she intentionally ran around in circles, making fun of Battler. Oh, I thought you weren't hungry, baby bitch.
代わりにお前を食べてやるぞって私を食べられるものなら食べてごらんなさいよきっとパンケーキの蜂
Hey, don't talk to me about you. Don't bring your vor kink into this. It's not for me. Pop it.
捕まえた。今はてめえの太ももよりそのパンが食いてんだ。
Very cool, Battler.
おとなしくそいつを返しやがれ。
I don't know what that noise is supposed to represent.
最後まで抵抗を。
ダメよダメよあげないもんクロワッサンも私
Croissant.
が欲しいって思ってるもん
What? Why did she get applause? Why did she get applause like a sitcom character? What's going on?
こいつ朝っぱらからまだくよくよしてる。
Ohio, Battler! Starring Beatrice as herself!
新しい一日とゲームの始まりであるぞ。元気出して行ってみよう。
Itemiyo! She flung the door open. Like a marathon runner drawn on a certain caramel box, with her hands held high and an idiotic cheeriness, Beato appeared. For some reason, flags from around the world and confetti scattered about, perfectly completing this magnificent entrance. Look at the faces! Battler and Beelzebub, who had been fighting over the croissant, completely forgot about their argument, speechless.
おはようございますベアトリーチェ様それでは私はこれではいバトロ君して
Stuff it in there. Thank you for the like sounds of eating ASMR, Battler.
おはようベアト。朝から絶好調なようで何よりだ。
Beato and Battler looked at each other. It seemed neither had a clue what was going on with the other.
バトラ元気そうじゃねえかよ。
Yeah, what happened to the fatal position?
ピザ返事してというか食事中だったし。
Oh, I played a little trick on you.
いえいえ、毛布の中で膝を抱くようにぐっすりお休みでございました。
It was just a prank, Lady Beatrice.
お目覚めの時間
I do a little trolling too, just like you.
気にならず食事をしようにもいたずら猫が迷い込んでそれどころではなかったようで。
Well, I'm glad one of us is having fun. To be fair, you just tricked Battler for like 20 hours straight, so...
よく言うぜ。てめえこそ前回はでっかく騙して
It was a fucking massive trick. It was glorious.
事情はさっぱりだが、朝からいい君だぜ。とりあえずロノベ、朝からナイス。
That's okay, nice.
恐れ入りますバトラさん。
I like that Battler and Renove have a very amicable relationship. It's cute. They're just guys being dudes. The two men stuck up their thumbs as though they understood each other, chuckling together. Dudes do rock. For a while, Beato was very energetic, trying to hide her embarrassment. Well, what a fun moment. Can't wait for more murders.
俺をあんまり舐めるんじゃねえ。まさか俺が膝を抱いて。
I don't know, kind of. It's happened before, honestly.
前回あれだけ悔し涙を流しておったのはどこの誰だというのか。あの涙をたっぷりと小瓶にでも集め。
That's weird. No, I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I use face tears as facelation.
うるせえや。あれはその。
That actually sounds like it would have the opposite effect I want. 'Cause tears are very salty. They make a nice drink sometimes, though.
みっともねえとこ見せちまったが、二度と同じ手が通用すると思うなってんだ。
無論よ。同じ手に何度も引っかかってわらわを失望させるな。
ああ、見てろよ。俺はくじけるたびに強くなる男だってことを教えて。
Oh, like Goku. You get a Zenkai boost, but for your brain.
だがな、ベアト。
うん、なんだ。
二度とするな。
ほう、なんでだ。やはり絡めては苦手か。
Yeah, you bet he is.
俺とお前は敵同士で。絶対に手を取り合うことはない。
Battler's always weak in the rear.
俺はもうはっきりと理解した。だからもう二度とそれを勘違いさせるような不愉快な真似をするな。
そうは言うがな。そなたの弱点と知って。
Beato thought they were still joking around, but the tone had disappeared from Battler's expression some time ago. Beato felt as though his eyes were like the surface of black tea that had cooled
いい
down.
な。二度とするな。
No more trixies,
わ
Beato.
からんぞ。忘れた頃にまたやるかもな。
二度とするな。
Pierced by a strong and forceful gaze, Beato held her tongue. Maybe she was certain that Battler would break that silence with laughter. However, Battler's serious expression didn't change in the slightest. So to break that silence, Beato had no choice but to start laughing herself.
それでよい。そなたとわらわは好敵手。どのような良好な
That really hurt my feelings, Beato. Don't do it again. And she's like, yeah, fine, okay.
そなたがそれを勘違いしなかったなら、わらわはそれで十分だ。
Now remember this, minions. They will never be anything other than enemies. For sure, right? For sure.
そうだな。
This will never change ever.
お前が敵であることを。
It's definitely, there's no foreshadowing by her saying that very specifically, that this will never change. There's no foreshadowing involved in that statement, it is just fact.
お前の絡め手にかかることは二度とない。二度と。
Well, that's definitely not true.
第4のゲームが待ちきれないのはどうやらわらわだけではなかったらしい。嬉しいぞ、バトラー。
Spending all this time together, functionally locked in one room together, alone, more or less, definitely doesn't have an effect on your relationship with someone. You'll be enemies forever.
ああ、望むところだぜ。もう小手先の騙しは効かねえぞ。
生きがるな。前回のゲームの最後の謎、南條殺しの謎も降参したまま。
Yeah, that one was pretty fucked up.
今はまだ答えを保留するさ。だがな、くじけたわけじゃねえぞ。必ずお前の真っ赤な真実を破り、魔女を否定してみせる。
良い心意気だ。やはりそなたは不死鳥のごとき男よ。
You're like some sort of phoenix who is eventually right.
わらわの見込みを裏切らぬ。それでは第4のゲームの幕を開けよう。だがその前に我らは新しい客人を迎えなければならないようだ。
客人？
そなたも覚えておる？前回のゲームの最後、招待状もなく現れ、要求。
She really brought down the mood by always having that one expression.
わらわたちのゲームに加わりたいというのでな。正式に招待状を送り、この席へ招かせていただいた。ロノウェ、客人を呼べ。
Bring in the girl.
もういるわよ。
I've been here the whole time. It's really embarrassing listening to you guys flirt like this. The voice that answered Beato's call came from the darkness in a corner of the room. She's so chuny. When Battler turned around in surprise, he could now see that the mystery girl there.
おやおや、そなたも人が悪い。来ていたならば、挨拶の一つもすればよいもの。
私、殴る前に挨拶する習慣ないの。
You really did just, even though you're only 6, you really did just absorb a lot of Battler's things for some reason.
でも、殴り終わってからならしてあげるわ。
This song is pretty good.
なんとする？
Good night.
Have a nice dream. She really is just like her brother, but like more moody.
笑える。実に笑える。
Beato cackled and clapped her hands. But that was only Beato, and nothing rose Battler's face except a bitter smile.
あんた、武闘派だな。
A fighter. Battler and the girl's eyes met, and he shrugged his shoulders as he spoke. But the girl didn't answer, giving only a cold stare in return. I also like how this default expression of Anja's is kind of like Kyrie's, because she's Kyrie's daughter with Rudolph. Yeah, it does have that vibe, doesn't it, Swinehead? Like kind of a PS1 racing game, kind of a Ridge Racer type beat.
前回は土壇場で世話になったな。礼を言うぜ。
礼なんていらない。 あなたがぶったるんでただけよ。私は目を覚ませと言っただけ。
Ace Combat Hanger music. Yeah, that one too. I mean, they're both Namco. Same sound team.
そうだな。バトラはぶったるんでるな。
Beato tried to laugh as though sympathizing with her, but it didn't reach the girl's ears. She did absolutely nothing except stare at Battler with ice-cold eyes.
どうやら
I love this little girl. She's so funny.
あなたが本気で戦ってないからイラついてるだけよ。
俺が本気じゃないだ。
まさかあの低たらくが
It was
本気
pretty.
だった
It was pretty rough for you, Battler. It wasn't a good look. Falling for
バカ
that.
にしないで。いつまでこんな魔女の茶番に付き合ってるつもりなの？
俺は俺なりにベアトと戦ってる。
By
も
not
ちろん
fighting.
本気でだ。
本気で？笑わせないで。魔女といつまでも永遠にお茶を飲んで談笑しているだけのあなたが本気で戦っている？
I'm saying.
冗談は髪型だけにして。
そりゃ俺も最初はこの魔女のゲームに不慣れで。
A likely statement.
だがな、ようやく戦い方やそのコツが見えてきたところだ。俺のこれまでの無様さがあんたには本気でないように見えたのなら、それは
No, no, it was all an act. I'm not really pathetic. I'm not really a loser. I promise. It's all part of the plan.
そう？
確かに俺がベアトの胸ぐらを掴み上げるのに必要な距離はまだかなりあるだろうと思う。しかしその距離はどれほど長大であろうとも有限だ。そして俺は
Are you? Are you
一
though?
歩一歩確実にその距離を詰めている。時間はかかろうともあの魔女を追い詰め必ずチェックメイトする。それには奴がよく口にするように1000年をかけるかもしれない。
Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. He keeps getting epically tricked every
それ
time.
をいつか必ず打ち勝つ。なぜか俺が絶対に負けを認めないからだ。絶対に立ち止まらない。追い詰め続ける。だからつまり言えることはただ一つ。俺はいつかってことだ。
Someday, you know, eventually.
気の長い話ね。あなた勝つ気あるの？有限もその扱いを間違えれば無限と化す。今のあなたはすでに亀すら追い越せないアキレスなのよ。なるほどね。
That's weird. I don't get that comparison.
こんなざまじゃ何億年をかけようとも無限の魔女に勝てるわけがない。
お前は何者なんだ。名前くらい聞かせてくれたってバチは当たらねえだろ。
At that point, the girl fell silent, gazing straight into Battler's eyes. At first, Battler faltered under the firmness of that look, and his gaze wavered slightly, but then his eyes gradually began to be sucked into the pupils that were staring at him. Then, inside those eyes, he saw a light that he'd seen some time before. Battler was struck by how strongly they resembled the eyes of a girl who definitely couldn't be here, even though that was completely impossible.
そんなバカなとは思うんだが、なぜかそんな気がするんだ。
Excuse me.
でもそん
I
な
had
こ
to
と
clear
あ
my
るわけ。
throat a little. It's got some stuff in there.
まだあいつは6歳のはずだ。お前まさかエンジ
Oh, is that how we're pronouncing it? NG?
そうだと言ったらあなたは信じるの？
I don't know. I've seen some shit.
言い方を変えるわ。私はあなたの味方よ。だから信用して。あなたは信じるの？初対面の正体不明の女が自分の知人になんとなく似ているからという理由だけであなたは無条件に信用
This
して
puts
しまう。
Battler in a tough position because I feel like accepting Ange as Ange means also accepting witches because how could she be here other than magic time travel?
そんなお人よしだから前回のゲームであっさり騙されて 悔し涙をボロボロこぼすことになるのよ。あなた自分で言ったわ。その子は6歳なんでしょ。私が6歳に見えるにもかかわらず、私がその子だと実証したならそれを鵜呑みにするの？
Her name is two characters, so it's two syllables. Ah, that makes sense. So it is Anje. Anji? Do you pronounce it like Angie?
弱えな。すまん。そうだな。俺はお人よしだ。
I'm a big softy.
そいつを前回のゲームで思い知らせたはずなのにな。お前が言う俺が本気じゃないってのはそういう。
そうよ。あなたは魔女と戦っているつもりでしょうけど、ただ慣れ合って遊んでいるだけ。チェスで仲良く戦って遊んでいるだけなのよ。
That's kind of like being adversarial.
あなたたちにとってそれは真剣勝負でしょうけれど、それを離れて見ている私には仲良くルールに守られてただ遊んでいるようにしか見えない。
きついな。
She does kind of have a
そ
point.
の大遊びに勝てない限り、あなたはここから解放されない。だから私が
I need to know how to pronounce the game of every trans girl who's read Umineko. Is Anje a particular sticking point? I feel like there's other characters.
このゲームに決着をつけるためにね。今の
I feel like every female character in this game is a she's just like me moment for some people.
走り続けるハムスターみたいなもの。あれか。夜な夜なくるくると車輪の中を走り続ける。
Yes, yes, Beta, that's what a hamster is.
車輪の中を走り続けることは一見無限のように思えるかもしれない。無限の魔女ベアトリーチェ、まるであなたのことね。そしてその車輪の中で戦ってるつもりで
Well, he's definitely making a
走
fool
り
of
続け
himself.
ているのが彼。これはゲームじゃない。彼を永遠に閉じ込めているだけのカゴでしかない。
Oh.
わらわの無限をネズミが遊ぶ車輪風情に呼ばわるか。面白い面白い。
Technically, a hamster isn't a mouse. It's a type of gerbil.
ある次元における無限はより高次元において無限をなさないものよ。メンガーのスポンジが無限の表面積を持つ
A
のは
Menger
3次元
sponge?
未満の世界での話。3次元の現実においては質量ゼロ。無限どころか存在さえできない。
威勢のいい女よ。わらわの敵を名乗る程度の資格はあるらしい。
あんた何者なんだ。
私はあなたの味方、そして魔女の敵よ。もちろん信じなくていい。私が本当にあなたの味方であるかなんて誰にも証明できない。むしろ私のことをうさんくさいと思うくらいの警戒心の方が望ましいわ。
そうだな。前回ひでえ目に遭わされたんだ。そのくらいの用心深さは必要だな。俺ももう二度と騙されるのはごめんだぜ。
Oh boy, there's a line to keep in mind. Battler not known for being tricked more than once. Beato laughed in a truly pleased way, which was humiliating only to Battler.
人はいきなり騙されたりはしない。自らの確認を怠り、それを他人に
Yeah, when you
委ねて
fail the perception
騙され
check.
る。他の人が渡り始めたからもう信号は青になったと思った。じゃあ事故の言い訳にはならないってこと。わかる？
No.
ああ、わかるぜ。与えられた情報を鵜呑みにするんじゃなく、自分の頭で考えろってことだろ。俺はベアトに見せられた魔法を鵜呑みにしていた。
You'll be swallowing something else soon.
考えることをやめ
You did stop thinking. You do this all the time.
だからダメだったんだ。
Battler grimaced as he remembered his many painful losses. The witch watched and laughed again, putting on a bold appearance.
私はあなたが有利になるように助言する。もちろんあなたは私のそれを鵜呑みにすべきではない。 私が味方であることの絶対の保証なんて誰にもできないのだから。
Yeah, remember how that worked out with her? Yeah. In the last game, Virgilia, who I thought was an ally, was actually on the witch's side. Balor couldn't rid his head of that eerie smile worn by Virgilia, a person he'd once even thought of as trustworthy and reliable.
だから私を無条件で信用なんてしなくていい。故に私の助言も参考意見程度に留めてもらって大いに結構だって、魔女とのゲームを戦っているプレイヤーはあなたなんだから。
そうだな。外野の指し手に従って打ったから負けたなんて。
そうとも。わらわの相手はバトラよ。そなたなど外野に過ぎる。
That's right, I forgot. I wasn't paying attention for a minute.
いるとは良いことだ。
いいえ、外野じゃないわ。ベアトリーチェと後ろ宮バトラー、そしてそれを俯瞰する私がまるで三角形のような形になって戦うのよ。一見これは共闘ではないけれど、一緒に戦うばかりが共闘ではない。
ほう、珍妙なことを言い出す。
さっき彼は戦うことをあなたとの距離を詰めると表現した。でも
That's a good song in Final Fantasy XIV, Closing the Distance.
二つの目があって初めて物事は立体的に。
Okay, but Battler has two eyes.
そして二つの視点があっても同じ場所からでは意味がない。離れている方が魔女を正確に測ることができる。
異なる立場から異なる角度で撃つ十字砲火ってことだな。面白いぜ。
異なる立場から異なる角度で撃つ。だから私は誰とも慣れ合わない。自分の立ち位置をずらし魔女を挟み撃ちにするために。
いいのか、バトラー。
Pincer attack.
その女は実はわらわが差し向けた。
That's true. You could have just made up another guy. You're good at making up guys. You did it for Eva.
らしいことを言ってそなたを信用させようとしているだけかもしれぬぞ。
かもな。こいつはさっきからそれをずっと重ねていっている。だからこいつの助言はもちろん鵜呑みになんかできないだろうさ。だがそれが信用に値するものか否か、俺が自ら考えることをやめない限り、
Uh-huh.
俺はもう誰にも騙されない。
I'm sure that won't happen. Hard to have much faith in Battler right now when he got worked so hard in the last episode.
大した自信だぞ、後ろ宮バトラー。そこまで言い切ったそなたをコロリとまた騙してみたいぞ。そして再び騙されたことを知った時のそなたがどんな顔を浮かべるのか。
I can't wait too. I want to see it.
気に入った。
なあ、あんたは俺の名を知ってるようだが、俺は名前を聞かせてくれ。
For a while, the girl remained silent, without changing her expression even once. She looked as though she couldn't decide whether to say her name or not, or possibly as though she was deciding on the name she'd say on the spot.
グレーテル。
Sure. Yes, I understand this reference of Hansel and Gretel. I get it.
バカね、名前よ。
Battler is like the protagonist from Golden Boy. I've never watched it.
私のことはグレーテルと呼んで。
I have to watch it eventually with the subs, of course,
じゃあ
in the original language.
俺はヘンゼルとでも名乗った方がいい。
See, even Battler gets the weird joke.
冗談さ。俺は後ろ宮バトラ。バトラと呼んでくれ。
よろしく。握手は嫌い。
Don't
気を悪く
touch
しない
me.
でね。
そうだな。悪い。お前が味方と決まったわけじゃないしな。警戒心を持てって言われたばかりなのにな。
Battler drew back his right hand, which he had stuck out. His bitter smile disappeared and was replaced with a strong resolve directed at his new fourth game.
バトラ
Batla.
あなたはどうして魔女に勝たなければならないのか
The whole part of... I mean, I figure it's got mostly to do with her murdering his family.
気に入らないからやっつけるなんて抽象的なものではダメ。絶対に魔女を打ち倒してこの世界から抜け出すという強い信念を持って、あなたの帰りを待っている人が必ずいるから、その子のためにも。
Maybe there was something she wanted to say. Gretel clenched her fists in front of her chest and hung her head in silence, at a loss for words for a short while. As though smashing through that silence, Beto spoke up in a forceful voice.
これにてグレーテルとやらの自己紹介も十分。
No more lollygagging. I want to get back to the plot.
さあ思い出してごらんなさい。
No, that doesn't rhyme like the British one.
第4のゲームの幕開けであるぞ。
Hooray! At the same time, as though it had been blown by a sudden gust of wind, the clock that had been turned back to October 4th, 1986, started to move. While we remained in the witch's room, the blue-gray sea and the green Rokanjima spread out beneath us. And we could see a boat heading there, its wake trailing behind it. The sky was already cloudy, and it seemed that the barrier of the typhoon would soon shut the island away. There was the boat docked in the harbor, and Goda helping to unload it. Then, once all of its passengers had disembarked, the boat began to separate from the shoreline. The relatives were gradually swallowed up by the island.
マリアは相変わらず元気だな。
Genki!
マリアちゃん、気をつけないと転ぶよ。気をつけて。
I sure hope Maria doesn't bite it super early this time. It made me feel a little bad. She's like the one who deserves it the least. The long-missed cousins I had loved dashed across the beach, getting swallowed by the forest path that led to the mansion and disappeared. And of course, Onichan could be seen among them too.
くっそー。待て待てマリア。こんなすばしっこいやつ。
Maria Onichan, whom I'd loved, started dashing and Onichan chased after her. They were swallowed up by the forest. Following them, father and mother were also swallowed up. The rest of the parents were swallowed up. They were swallowed up, leaving only me behind.
バカ。いつまでこんなところで魔女と戯れて遊んでいるのよ。早く帰ってきてよ。 お兄ちゃん、私を一人ぼっちにしないで。そして気がついて、残された私がどれだけ
Does suck for you. Eva turned into a real bitch. Like, even more so than she already was. Anja's future. St. Lucia Academy after 1986. I like how we don't get a date. It's just sometime after that point. Meanwhile, in more of the future, but not quite the present.
ごきげんよう。
Good day to you is the standard greeting used here. No matter how many years pass by, this style of greeting still feels very awkward. Even though I'd respond to the greeting in order to stifle that awkward feeling. The classmate who had spoken looked at me blankly. Arkel the femboy, thanks for following. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. Femboys are always welcome here. It's always nice to be among your own kind.
Eh?
Eh?
何
Is it a Higurashi reference? I haven't read Higurashi. Her outfit, you mean? Their choice of words and manner were certainly what you'd expect from a school for rich girls, but the actual meaning was as innocent and cruel as you'd expect from kids of that age. It seems they found it funny that I'd mistakenly thought the greeting was directed at me. St. Lucia Academy? Oh, is that from Higurashi? I didn't know. It seems they found it funny that I'd mistakenly thought the greeting was directed at me. No, it might be the opposite. Can I tell you about my channel? Well, it's true that I am beautiful. I'm Daihime-sama. I am the leader of the Rose Rabbit Army, here from the moon to conquer planet Earth. Because I'm very evil. I read visual novels. I play a lot of JRPGs and fighting games. This is my propaganda mission to make the world love me, so conquering it is super easy. That's about the basic rundown, I guess. We've been reading Umineko When They Cry. We're on the 4th episode. It's been like 6 months. It's crazy.
Shake it, baby.
So true. So true, Duke Nukem. Maybe they didn't know how to react after being suddenly greeted by a gloomy, quiet kid like me. No, judging by the gazes of my classmates who were looking this way over their shoulders and whispering to each other, it looked as though some of them considered this refreshing morning ruined. I was dark, because I was disliked. So, trying not to get in the way of everyone's refreshing morning anymore, I stooped lower and entered the classroom. Almost like I was cutting through the aisle in a movie theater while the movie was running. This is an all-dorm school, St. Lucia Academy. It's not a school that anyone can get into by taking a test. It's hidden rich girls' school, known only by a select group of celebrities from various fields. For lofty nobles who truly wish their daughters could be raised like saints, this is probably the ideal school in which to protect them from the impurities of the common world. But at the same time, it was probably also convenient for nobles who wanted to confine daughters they didn't want out in the public. As well as an academy isolated from the impurities of the common world, it also had excellent potential as a prison school. Prison school. I was truly among the latter, and was confined in St. Lucia Academy, forced to live my life in dreariness. Of course, there weren't that many students like me, and you couldn't tell us apart at a glance. However, even if we never fessed up about it, you could usually figure out who we were by watching how we acted. After all, we were always hanging our heads, with an expression on our faces as though the whole world had abandoned us. Anyway, every class had 1 or 2 kids like that, so even if they didn't speak up about it, you could guess who they were. Therefore, even though I never confessed that I was one of those kids, at some point, everyone in my class knew about it. Just like how the seriousness of an injury became a sign of status in a hospital room, how noble a birth one had became a sign of status here. Is it... in a hospital? Alright, sure, we'll run with that metaphor, I guess. Those girls who couldn't be acknowledged in public were probably nothing more than filth to the others. They must have thought that getting involved with such students would dirty them as well. When a rumor sprang up about a particular student, those fastidious girls would grow cold and distant, chasing that student out of all social groups. Thanks to that, I led a quiet school life like this, all by myself. Well, that's only if hearing people whisper behind my back, finding my things lost or broken all the time, and having everyone pretend like they didn't know anything can be called a quiet school life. Even this early in the morning, I must look worn out. I can almost understand why my other classmates who had a refreshing morning looked at my face and wanted to click their tongues. Consciously trying to do as I should and avoid tainting my classmates' morning, I quickly took my seat. Then, unusually, someone came to talk to me. It was the class leader.
ごきげんよう、白宮さん。朝からご機嫌斜めなご様子ね。
I'm sure this girl will be very nice to Anje. Anje, because I guess that's how you pronounce it. Everybody here seems so friendly after all.
何かご用ですか？学年発表会のアンケート、まだ提出してないの。後宮さんだけよ。昨日までが提出日だったの。お忘れ？
Questionnaire. I'm pretty sure I heard something about that last week, but I thought that the questionnaire hadn't been passed out yet. The details would be written there, so there shouldn't be any need to remember them beforehand.
アンケート用紙もらってないですけど。
そんなはずありませんよ。寮長から全員にちゃんと配布されてるはずです。なくしてしまったならそうと素直におっしゃればいいのに。
なくしました。今すぐ書きますから。用紙をいただけますか？
Again, either someone lost my sheet or they intentionally didn't tell me about it. But I have no way of knowing who was behind that. In the end, treating it as though it was my own carelessness would settle everything more quickly. Ah yes, the path of least resistance, the favorite of many a bullied school kid.
うちのクラスだけですよ。夕べまでに全員のが揃わなかったのは。
As I hung my head at the class leader's scolding, I could hear the giggles and whispers of people watching coming from no direction in particular. Ushiramiya-san did it again. She's just so careless. She doesn't deserve to be in this school. She had no dignity and no manners either. No dignity. Sorry, girls, but I've dealt with much worse when it comes to unfair personal attacks. As I froze my heart and let those arrows of ridicule pass by, I quickly filled out the questionnaire. When I learned that father and mother and Onichan and all the rest of my family had died, I was at the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. The only survivor of the accident was Ushiromiya Eva. Only Aunt Eva. Even at the time, I hadn't really liked Aunt Eva. At a glance, she would act kindly, but even as young as I was, I could see that she was somehow making fun of father and the rest, and I hadn't liked it. So when it was decided that Aunt Eva would take care of me, I was pretty miserable. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered if that gentle Uncle Hideyoshi and George Onichan had been with me, but I hated the thought of living all alone with Aunt Eva. I'd frankly said that to Grandpa, hoping to live together in his house. However, Aunt Eva had been very insistent that she should be the one to look after me. She had no desire to remarry, so as her successor, I was essential if the Ushiromiya family was to continue. Aunt Eva felt very strongly about the family. She insisted that she take charge of me right away, so that she could give me an education and lifestyle fitting for a successor. After that, it seems the confusing negotiations with lawyers took place, but in the end I was forced to go live with Aunt Eva. After doing that, Aunt Eva told me something. You must bear all of the glory and history of the Ushiromiya family, and in order to make you a fitting successor to bear that, the rest of your life will be dedicated to frantic studying. Sacrifice the rest of your life for the Ushiromiya family. That's what she said. At first, I thought she meant that literally, but I quickly realized that wasn't the case. Because even now, in Aunt Eva's eyes, the one most fitting to succeed her was the late George Onichan. At our first meal together, I received strict instructions and questioning about table manners, and was forced to listen to her abuse Mom and Dad as though they'd been neglectful in their discipline. I also received the same strict instructions regarding manners at my first party, and my clumsiness had been disparaged in front of everybody, forcing me to endure insults to Mom and Dad as well. After that repeated over and over, I eventually began to understand. Aunt Eva didn't really want to make me her successor. She thought George Onichan was the only one truly suited to be her successor, and she couldn't forgive the fact that it was to be me instead. So she insulted me in front of lots of people. She humiliated me, and she made it known exactly how I was inferior to George Onichan to both acquaintances and strangers, surely in place of a memorial service for her dead son. Or rather, she must still be mourning his death. Then why'd you kill him, you dumb bitch? However, that wasn't something I could endure. I couldn't possibly live together with Aunt Eva. I was kept like a pet, my life continually compared to her dead son's. I understood that even when I was still in elementary school. I tried to escape the Ushiromiya house and run off to the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. However, Aunt Eva had already foreseen that. No, thinking back on it, she might have lured me into escaping. I was caught by the guards and brought back. And for being a coward who had smeared the Ushiromiya family crest with mud and tried to throw it away, in a way that makes my whole body shake and shiver just remembering it, I was punished. How should I describe what Aunt Eva was like when she punished me? In a frenzy? Gleeful? I saw the anger and sadness of losing her beloved son, and well as the hatred and pain from me stealing that inheritance from the son who should have received it. In the dark pleasure at being able to let those feelings out on me, I was hit with all those negative emotions at once. Then, all of my free time and freedom to act was stolen, and I was put under surveillance around the clock. I may have lived in a gorgeous mansion, dressed in expensive clothes, but my heart and my dignity had been trampled upon, and I was the Ushiromiya family's slave, its cattle. Compared to that lifestyle, the derisive laughter of my classmates was calm and pleasant. It caused my heart no trouble. She lied. After burying almost all of the fields of the questionnaire with nothing in particular, I folded it and put it in my pocket. Because if I left it in my desk, it might disappear again. Blue sky! During lunch break, after dropping it off at the post box in the student council room, I finished lunch by myself, as usual, and headed behind the school building where no one could be seen. Only my time by myself could protect me from the derisive laughter and gossip. Since I was hated and didn't have a single friend, my time alone was the most kind to me. After checking the surrounding bushes to see whether some malicious classmates were hiding and threatening my time of quiet, I finally relaxed the tension from my entire body, knowing that I had gained some true peace. Then, I let out a sigh. It faltered, heavy, as though it was the first time I had breathed out today. My old favorite place behind the vegetable garden storehouse had been found out by my classmates, and I'd been teased, so this was my new lunchtime hideaway. There was nowhere to sit behind the school building. As I crouched near the wall in the shadow of the bushes, I opened my bag and took out a book with an elaborate, old-fashioned binding. What's this now? What have we here? Just glancing at it, you'd probably think it was a religious book or something written in the Middle Ages. But this wasn't a book. It was a diary. Of course, it wasn't my diary. There weren't any special things worth writing about in my daily life. Every single day was just gray, cold, and dry. In those completely unchanging days, there weren't any changes worth writing down. This was the diary of Maria Onichan, a girl I'd been very close to. She'd been a bit strange and 3 years older than me, but Onichan was always a warm, wonderful cousin. She would always grab me by the hand and let me join in on some fun games. I remember that being able to see her was the most fun part of our family gatherings. When I opened the diary, the characters, which were made fairly skillfully considering this was an elementary schooler, were packed close together, though they were written on every short other line. Was she just hopelessly obsessed with jotting everything down in her diary? Probably not. To her, writing her daily life down in a diary was probably like having a conversation with another part of herself. So rather than an object on which the events of her day were written down, Maria One-chan's diary was written like a letter to another part of herself, telling of the events of that day. I found this diary among her belongings after her death and secretly took it home. At first, I'd felt that reading someone else's diary might be boorish, and satisfied myself with just keeping it at my side. But I couldn't help flipping through the pages and reading through it bit by bit. And by now, she had become my only friend. That's dangerous. This dead neurodivergent child, that's my only friend. I gently opened the page with the bookmark. I know, absorbing Battler and Maria's, quirkiness, that's scary. I gently opened the page with the bookmark.
マリアお姉ちゃん、お待たせ。また、お姉ちゃんのお話を聞かせて。
I love talking to my book. It's so normal. At the same time, a very, very soft breeze blew, tickling the paper. I thought the open diary might have sparkled faintly. The weather's good today. Maria One-chan loves the wonderful rays of sunlight, so I'm sure she's in a good mood. On the pages of the open diary, no, in the world of the diary, Maria One-chan showed herself. Like that. Wow! I'm pretty sure she was 9 when she died, so her form was already younger than me. But I call her One-chan, so she affectionately calls me Anje.
Oh, Anje, 今日は来るのが遅かった。お昼混んでた？
I wonder if she writes ooh in her book too.
いつも混んでるわ。仲良しグループたちが席を陣取ってる上に、食事を終えた後も席を塞ぎ続けてるから、食堂に行くのが遅くなると致命的ね。今日は片付けの当番だったから。
ご飯食べるの早い。早く食べ終わるとその分いっぱい遊べるの。
So true. Maybe she realized I was holding a grudge because that duty had been forced upon me and shortened my lunch break by a bit. Maria Onichan brightly changed the subject. Grateful for that act of kindness, I responded by saying I was a slow eater. Maria calmed me down, saying something about teaching me the trick to eating fast. I read about it in her diary. No, I heard it from Maria Onichan. She was ranked #1 among the girls in the speed eating ranking for her grades newspaper. She was apparently very proud of that, but a little disappointed that her mother, Aunt Rosa, hadn't praised her very much for it.
じゃあ今日のお話を始めるね。昨日はどこまでお話をしたかな。
ここまでよ。マリアお姉ちゃんがサクタロをプレゼントしてもらったところ
What
まで
is Sakutara?
サクタロの話を聞かせてくれる約束になってたわ。
サクタロウのこと話すよ。サクタロウはね、とっても可愛いぬいぐるみなの。エンジェもきっと気に入るよ。
そのお話を聞かせて。
Wait, I think I've seen it before. It's a stuffed animal?
お話を聞かせてもらえる昼休みだけが学校で一番心を許せる時間だもの。
マリア話す。サクタロウはね、
When I looked at Maria Onichan, who was always in a good mood, it made my heart feel warm as well. As I listened to her tale, I began to get absorbed into her world. What? I thought that was a Denny's sign for a second. I was very confused.
ハッピーバースデーマリア。ごめんね、帰りが遅くなって。
ママもお仕事お疲れ様。マリア、ママが忙しい。
It even looks like a diner.
遅くなっても泣かないで待ってた。おとなしくテレビ見て待ってた。
マリアは偉いわね。お行儀よく待ってたご褒美に今日は何でも好きなものを注文していいわよ。もちろん食べきれる分だけだけどね。
今日はコーンスープをオニオングラタンスープに変えてもいい？
Corn soup.
200円高くなるけどプロシュートピッツァに変えてもいい？
いいわよ。本当に食べられるならね。でもいっか。誕生日だし、ね。
Yeah, I've never heard of corn soup.
ちゃんとお行儀よく待ってたいい子のマリアにご褒美もないとね。
Is it? Do they mean? Yeah. Do they mean creamed corn?
じゃあデザートに
Enchilada cheesecake. That actually sounds pretty good. I assume it's just like it's just shaped like an enchilada.
キッズフライドポテト。メロンソーダも飲みたい。マリアはいい子、マリアはいい子。ママに褒められた。
ちょっとはしゃぎすぎよ。
Potage cream corn. They hit it with the stick blender. Oh, so just creamier. Like even creamier than the creamy creamed corn. The creamiest corn. When Rosa gently admonished her, Maria stuck her tongue out and eased up a little. But it seemed that she was having a hard time repressing her excitement at being able to eat out with her mother after such a long time. Today was Maria's birthday. Rosa always tried to let Maria spend her birthdays at great restaurants, like Denny's. When Maria had been in kindergarten, they sometimes invited other kids from the neighborhood over and had a party at home. Rosa would make a wonderful cake and snacks and decorate the house herself, making it a huge celebration. Yeah, now I kind of want a graham sandwich. Like that sounds good right now, actually. Fuck. But when they moved and Maria no longer had friends in the neighborhood, Rosa had started splurging at expensive restaurants instead. However, today, they were in a normal family restaurant. It was also a little late in the day for a kid like Maria to eat there, even with the parent. Actually, she had gotten reservations at a fantastic place that surely would have pleased Maria. Of course, she had also prepared a wonderful cake with Maria's name written on it. But Rosa just hadn't been able to finish up her business and had been forced to cancel. Since that plan had been traded for a local family restaurant, Rosa felt a little indebted to Maria. So she was prepared to spoil Maria a bit and let her have whatever she wanted tonight. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, a chain of restaurants in Japan existed that was, like, imitating, like, American chain restaurants, like a Denny's, that do the birthday thing. By the way, we're in, like, a double flashback right now.
こんなに頼んで大丈夫なの？あんまり食べられないけど、いっぱい並ぶのが好きなの。
It's like the flashback within a flashback.
テーブルはね、赤、青、緑に黄色、いっぱい色とりどりだと幸せになれるの。そうね。お誕生日のテーブルってカラフルだと幸せな気持ちになれるわね。うちの誕生日は
The episode description did say that this is more outside the board than in it, so I was kind of preparing myself for more stuff like this that's like less of the big murders. Anje thought back to her own birthdays nostalgically. Even though Dad was busy, he sometimes came home just to show up at my birthday party, and then went right back to his company. At the time, I was sad, but now I understand how important I was to Dad. Of course, Mom also took very good care of me. In particular, her birthday presents were always in excellent taste, and she sometimes arranged for them several months in advance. Even though we always sent an invitation to Battler Onichan, he didn't get along with Dad or something, so he kept not coming. So when he did come, I was really happy. And birthday parties when the whole 4-person family gathered made for fun memories that I'll never forget. So now we're having a Maria flashback. In the Maria, we're having an Anje flashback in the Maria flashback in the Anje flashback.
エンジェのお誕生日もとても楽しそうだね。バトラとルドルフおじさんがすごく賑やか。ワイワイキャッキャ。あ、バトラコーラかけられてる。
This must happen a lot. This must happen to Battler all the time, spilling stuff on himself. Maria Onichan peeked into my happy memory. As I sat quietly wearing the origami helmet that Dad had made for fun, I was a little embarrassed. In my hand was a paper gun that Battler Onichan had folded for me, and Mom was taking a commemorative photo. It was the happiest moment of my life.
でも、マリアお姉ちゃんの誕生日だって負けてないよ。
Yeah, this is a really good song.
それで、今日もらえるんでしょ？作太郎は。すっごく楽しみだった。ママのカバンの脇にあるプレゼントの包みを早く見せてもらえないかなとずっとワクワクしてた。
Sakataro is the name of a stuffed animal that Maria was to receive that day. For quite some time before then, Aunt Rosa had been making a stuffed animal to give Maria as a present today. Hearing that it was a cute lion stuffed animal, Maria Onichan had already given it to the name Sakataro, even though she hadn't received it yet. Today, she was looking forward to meeting Sakutaro even more than her own birthday. Aunt Rosa ran a clothing design company. It seemed to be some kind of brand name. What was it, Auntie Rosa? Auntie Rosa? Ha! That's a little on the nose, don't you think, Ryukishi? It seems their catchphrase was, "I can't forgive the me of yesterday." That's a little on the nose, don't you think? Unfortunately, I've never met someone who knew of that brand name. Rosant, yeah. Rosant? Maybe it wasn't that famous. So Aunt Rosa was pretty skilled with her hands. I heard that she made some of the clothing she wore herself. So making a stuffed animal had to be well within her capabilities.
手作りのぬいぐるみなんてちょっと素敵。ところで、サクタロって名前どういう意味でつけた？本当はさくらってつけたかった。で でもオスライオンのぬいぐるみだから男の子の名前にしなさいって言われたの。
That's right, we must reinforce gender roles.
だから男の子っぽく太郎を加えて作太郎。最後の「う」はいつの間にかなくなっちゃった。
なんでさくらなの？
テレビアニメの主人公の名前。
I didn't expect that. Wait. This is in the 80s. Wasn't Cardcaptor Sakura after? That's a clamp anime. Yeah, the manga didn't even start before the 80s. The manga was in 96. Whatever. Okay, fine. You know what? They've run this bit before, so, you know, whatever. It's funny. That's all that matters. As per Higurashi, we know that PlayStations and Xboxes also exist at this point. Alright, whatever. You know what? Hey, Ryakishi doesn't seem to care, so whatever. I feel like the entire reason this game takes place in the 80s is just so that, like, they can't have cell phones. Like, I feel like that's, like, the big reason. It was the name of the main character in a TV anime that was popular at the time. The fact that she'd simply borrowed the name of the character she liked was, how should I say it, as innocent and cute as you'd expect from someone that age.
ママ作太郎まだ。作太郎も一緒にお誕生日混ぜてあげたい。
プレゼントはいつも最後でしょ。今広げると汚しちゃうわよ。食事が終わるまで我慢しなさい。
じゃあ早く食事を終わらす。
Could Charles Barkley solve the whole mystery before Battler or Anje? You know, I'm not far enough to say, but I have my doubts about Charles Barkley. He's pretty good in Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, but I don't know if he's a big sleuther. As soon as she proclaimed that, she started tearing into her meal. Aunt Rosa got mad at her, saying that was rude. It seemed that she'd expected this would happen right away. Yeah, I've heard that Tsukunia has taken a long time to finish. Rikishi was just busy making a VTuber. He'll get back to it, I'm sure. I also thought that, given how straightforward Maria was, that was probably what she'd do. So it was kind of pleasant when my expectations weren't betrayed. In the end, Aunt Rosa lost her daughter's eyes, which were sparkling with anticipation. She cleaned up the table and took out the long-awaited wrapped present.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
なかなか時間が取れなくて、あまり上手に作れなかったんだけど。
ママの手作りなら何でも嬉しい。
Aunt Rosa spoke a bit humbly, but Maria Onichan was happy even before opening the wrapping. I could really understand that feeling. It's not a problem of quality. Just the fact that it was a handmade present was more pleasing than anything.
開けてもいい？開けてもいい？
本当はお家に帰ってからにしてほしいんだけど、ちょっとだけよ。ちょっと見て挨拶したら一度しまうのよ。ちゃんと挨拶するのはお家に帰ってからにするのよ。ここはお外なんだからはしゃいじゃダメよ。約束できる？
What's important is your daughter not embarrassing you in public. That's more important than her having fun.
約束する。だから開けてもいい？ママ、開けてもいい？
はいはい。ちょっとだけよ。
Before Aunt Rosa finished talking, Maria started unwrapping it. there's that little freak. I've seen you before. As soon as she did, Yellow and Orange peeked out. Dios mío, la criatura. What appeared was a slightly blank-looking lion stuffed animal, with cute round eyes and a white chest. It was about the size of a small pillow. It looked pretty big next to someone as short as Maria Onichan, but it probably wasn't that large. From the perspective of someone who didn't know better, it would probably look like something cheap bought from a department store or something. But to Maria Onichan, it was her mother's handmade stuffed animal, the only one of its kind in the world, and irreplaceable. He is very scrunkly. Don't be too nice to me, daughter. I'm not used to people being nice to me. That's cute at least. Who do you?
本当に可愛らしいぬいぐるみね。この子がマリアお姉ちゃんの一番のお友達のサク太郎なのね。学校には一緒に行けないけど、お家ではいつも一緒にいる一番のお友達なの。
Did she bring Sakataro with her to Rokenjima?
サク太郎はね、とっても無垢で可愛らしくて、そしていつもマリアに優しくしてくれるの。マリアに元気がない時には励ましてくれて、マリアが元気な時は一緒にいっぱい遊んでくれるの。だからマリアはもう寂しくなんかない。
This is a cute song. It's like a cutesy version of the Golden Land theme.
ママが仕事で忙しくて一人ぼっちでも寂しくないし、学校で誰も遊んでくれなくても全然寂しくないの。ねえ、サク太郎。
うりゅう。At school, Maria One-chan had lived in the same kind of environment as I did. Compared to the other kids in her class, Maria One-chan's tempo was always a little slow. Her sensibilities and way of viewing things were a little peculiar, and a little too idiosyncratic for her to blend in. Her grades were low as well, and since she was talkative about everything related to the occult, her specialty, she was treated like a weirdo by everyone else in her class. If you were touched by Maria One-chan, you'd be cursed, stuff like that. Apparently, everyone in her class acted like she was disgusting, made fun of her, and avoided her. If a boy bumped into Maria One-chan, he'd start rubbing that part against the other boys, as if he'd gotten some scum on him. They'd pick up her stuff like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. It seems that girls thought even speaking to her was unpleasant, so they ignored her all the time, only giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake. It just has a VHS filter on it in the 80s. I've learned this from old TV shows. Or new TV shows that really like the 80s. Shikata ganai! Is that a rule?
最低なルールね。それを作ったやつの後頭部をレンガで殴ってやりたいわ。もちろん角で。
Very cool, Ande. You're so cool.
きっとマリアの代わりに新しい誰かが新しいいじめられっ子に選ばれる。マリアが我慢することで、マリアはその子をかばってあげられるの。
As she said that, she smiled faintly. Maria One-chan's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, from the beginning, a witch had resided in that place called the school. No, she says that any place where a lot of people gather will have a witch residing there. The witch tries to seal the students' souls through death by disease or other accidents. Apparently, she sometimes also corrupts those souls, leading them down that path of evil. She says that an angel came, not content to let that continue.
天使様はね、魔女をやっつけようとした。
Uh-huh.
でも魔女は強大で、戦いは7日7番に及んだんだけど。
I wonder what this could be a metaphor for.
疲れ切った魔女は休戦しようと言ってこう提案したの。
I wonder if this is metaphorical for something in our story.
前に聞いたわ。
I just, it's just, who knows?
クラスの生徒の
Everything's so
病気
mysterious.
にしたり、怪我をさせたりしてきました。でもその代わりに、残りの半分の生徒は病気と怪我から守ってきました。だから、もしもクラスの一人を私への生贄にいじめ、その他全員の生徒を病気や怪我から
I wonder who the bullied kid could be.
おう、天使様は考えたの。クラスの半分が不幸になることに比べたら、クラスの一人だけが不幸になることの方がずっといい。それに魔女はその強力な力で他全員の生徒の安全を守ってくれるという。クラスに40人の生徒がいるとして、20人の犠牲者が1人に減って19人が助かる。
Yeah, the needs of the many, etc., etc.
実に合理的な提案。
I wonder if there's some theme behind this fairy tale. Even the narration doesn't know, right? I wonder what the theme could be. If it's a creation by Maria Onichan, a 9-year-old girl, that'd be pretty impressive.
天使様はその提案を飲むことにした。だから一人の生贄によって19人は救われた。だからマリアの役割は大切なの。魔女は19人を守ってる。私たちが生贄になることによってその19人に感謝された覚えはないけれど。
Maria Onichan's idea was too compassionate. Both of us are suffering from a very similar style of misfortune. And yet, maybe a small difference in our way of thinking changes how peaceful our hearts are.
それでマリアお姉ちゃんは悲しくないの？
Ooh!
悲しくなんかないよ。だってこれからはサク太郎が一緒だもんね。サク太郎、うりゅう、マリアと一緒なら僕も元気。
Ah, I didn't know he talked.
ほら、サク太郎も元気って言ってるよ。
Maria Onichan hugged the Sakataro stuffed animal, playing both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand it. That's exactly why I want to reach Maria Onichan's level. I need to level up. She's on a higher plane than me. So I was intensely drawn to her tale and her words.
エンジェは一人ぼっちだから辛い？辛いわ。でもマリアお姉ちゃんとこうしていられる時間だけは別。一人ぼっちじゃないから。ならサク太郎もお友達になればもっと楽しくなるよ。じゃあ今日からサク太郎もエンジェの新しいお友達だよ。ね、サク太郎。
Sakataro does not answer. He just stares ominously. Oh, never mind, he does answer.
僕、エンジェのお友達？
Uryu! Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria Onichan expressed Sakataro's emotions. She was controlling him, but the charming way he waved his short hand and cocked his head at the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutaro. Of course, looking at it with cold eyes, it would only appear that Maria Onichan was comforting me when I was grumpy. But a soul had definitely been sent into that stuffed animal, the soul of Maria Onichan's love. So I acknowledged the existence of a being called Sakutaro inside that stuffed animal. The whole thing that isn't real, by the way. You're just reading a girl's diary. Uryu? As Sakutaro timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria Onichan's back in surprise. Maria Onichan really is good at playing with stuffed animals.
大丈夫だよサク太郎。エンジェは怖くないよ。とっても優しい女の子だよ。どうもサク太郎です。ウリュウ。はじめましてサク太郎。エンジェよ。新しいお友達になれて嬉しいわ。
I held out my hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakataro's short hand was stuck out towards me, lightly touching my index finger. After all, when a human and a stuffed animal shake hands, their sizes are too different. I have big, meaty human hands, and you have just little soft hands. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake.
これでもうエンジェとサク太郎はお友達だよ。一人よりは二人。
We can all get along.
三人の方がもっと楽しいよ。
Maria Onichan had given the name Sakataro to the stuffed animal she was to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she met him, his existence was sublimated into a personality. Even at the first moment they met, they were already friends. Of course, that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria Onichan's eyes. Although I don't think she personified and loved anything quite as much as Sakataro. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe Aunt Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet at some point in time, so she felt like treasuring objects instead. And maybe she was so isolated that she'd been forced to find a friend nearby. Because of all that, what happened that day wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Even so, Sakataro... No, maybe I should call it Sakataro. I don't know how you pronounce those differently. Like Maria Onichan. There's no doubt that Sakataro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, whom she loved more than anything or anyone. Ring ring!
もしもし、ママよ。
Ring 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 ring. Banana phone.
お友達が来てるの？サク太郎と遊んでるの。サク太郎ったらね。
It was already about 9 at night. Rosa had asked because this wasn't a good time to have a friend over, and she'd been just a little surprised. When she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, to think that she'd have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal. Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked her birthday present so much.
ごめんね。ママ、どうしても仕事が片付かなくて、来期のラインナップが難航してるの。ようやく少しずつ注目され始めたみたいで、なんとかここで期待に応えられるインパクトが。
I must always be at work, so I don't have to look at my freak child.
お泊まり？いいよ。頑張って、ママ。そう？ありがとうね、マリア。ママのお仕事のことを分かってくれてありがとう。
Rosa was surprised that Maria had accepted so easily that she wouldn't be able to come home from work. To Rosa, having to tell Maria that she'd been coming home late or staying overnight was a huge burden. Maria would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone, and it took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. Is this also thanks to Sakataro? Rosa was once again pleased that she'd given her daughter such a good present.
明日のこの時間には帰れるようにするわ。明日は一緒に夕食をとりましょう。マリアは夕食はまだよね。
I know, Sakataro is so
コンビニで
powerful.
お弁当買ってきて食べてね。お菓子はダメよ。ジュースもダメよ。お釣りと一緒にレシートも入れておくのよ。分かって？はい。サクタラとお買い物。サクタラとお買い物。あ、こら。サクタラはダメよ。お留守番させなさい。
From Maria's manner of speech, Rosa got the feeling that Maria might have gone shopping with that stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rosa's forehead creased, and after sourly saying that Maria definitely mustn't do that, she hung up.
おお、サクタロとお買い物ダメだってママに言われた。ウリュウ、マリアとお買い物に行けない。一人でお留守番
I know, how lonely. Waiting for 10 minutes for Maria to go to the store.
買い物行っちゃダメなんて言うんだろう。おお。ウリュウ、きっと僕がマリアと一緒にいるのを見られると恥ずかしいんだよ。恥ずかしい？なんで？ママはよく僕を外に連れて行っちゃいけないって言うし、マリアのことをよくもう何歳になったんだからダメとかそういう言い方をするし。
Man, Rosa in the 80s was sure fucking wrong about how many adults love stuffed animals. Like, half the adults I know on my Twitter timeline love talking about their stuffies.
マリアはサクタラと一緒で全然恥ずかしくないよ。僕はライオンだけどぬいぐるみだし。ライオンでぬいぐるみだけどマリアのお友達だよ。だから一緒にお出かけしよう。ママがいない時だけ内緒で。お？ひょっとしてサクタラも恥ずかしい？僕は恥ずかしくないけど。ウリュウ、ちょっとお外の人が怖い。そっか。じゃあサクタラが怖くなくて一緒にお出かけできるようにする。
Shall we?
マリアに任せて。便利なのがあるの。
Maria started fishing around in her messy room. What have we here? Rosa often told her to clean it up, but Maria apparently didn't like doing it. However, Maria herself knew more or less where everything was. So much so that if it were to be cleaned up, she would have trouble finding where anything was.
ほら見てサクタラ。ナップサック。
Napusaku! Maria proudly held it up high. Sakataro looked at the knapsack, which was gaping open, squirming as if saying, "Are you serious?"
ウリュウ、マリア。
Stuff him in the bag. Get in the bag! Get in the bag, freak.
これなら一緒にお買い物に行けるし、サクタラも怖くないよ。
Maria held Sakataro up and started stuffing him into the knapsack. At first, she tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. So she pulled him out and tried pushing him again feet first.
きつい、狭い、暗い。ウリュウ。ほら、大丈夫だよ。
Whatever, you don't have bones?
狭くないし、暗くないから怖くないよ。景色もいいよ。ウリュウ、本当だ。これならマリアと一緒にお買い物に行っても大丈夫？大丈夫だよ。今日のお夕食は何がいいかな。さあさあ、お出かけしよう、サクタラ。
Here comes the peanut gallery.
お姉ちゃん、楽しそう。
You keep interjecting.
とっても楽しい。
As if you're supposed to remind me this is a flashback in a flashback.
どんな人間のお友達だって夕方になったらお家へ帰らなきゃならない。でもサクタラは帰らないし、いつまでも一緒にいてくれる。一緒にテレビも見るし、お布団の中だって一緒だし、雷が怖い夜には手だって握っていてくれる。
Scowy.
クローゼットやベッドの下のお化けだって追っ払ってくれるんだよ。サクタラ頼もしい。
The invincible
マ
Sakataro.
リアを怖がらせるお化けは僕ライオンだから勇気を出して追い払っちゃうよ。ウリュウ、ガオー。
Ow. They were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older now than Maria Onichan was then, but Maria Onichan really is my Onichan, and I still haven't reached her level. If only I had a friend like close by like Sakataro.
マリアもサクタラもエンジェの身近なお友達だよ。いつもマリアたちはエンジェのすぐそばにいる。でもエンジェの魔法が弱いから、こうしてマリアの日記を開かないと知覚できないだけ。
That's how that works.
知覚？マリアお姉ちゃんは
March from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced is about to bust in and tell her why this is all wrong. According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits, and they're as natural and nearby as a light breeze.
風って普段は気にもしないし見えもしないけれど、お線香の煙とかがたなびくとそれを見ることができるんじゃない？
そうね。そしてそれは見えなくても普段から私たちの身近にあるものだわ。
そういうこと。マリアもサクタロもいつだってエンジェのすぐ近くで一緒なんだよ。神様や精霊、守護霊も私たちのすぐ身近にいるの。でも意識しないと
What's the
存在を感じ
spirits
られない。
and guardian spirits? These are two very different categories.
目では見えない風のように。でもそれは確実に私たちの身近にあって、魔力という煙がたなびけば誰にだって見えるものなの。
I thought I'd only be able to meet Maria Onichan while this diary was open. But from what she says, she's always with me, and I can meet her at any time if I truly desire to.
マリアは自分の日記に日々の
A
記録と一緒に
fragments.
自分の魂のかけらを残しておいた。
Capital F fragments.
だからこの日記にはマリアの魔法の力が宿ってるの。でもそれはとても微弱なもので、エンジェ以外の人には誰も感じ取れない。
私にだけはわかるの？
だってエンジェはマリアと同じで魔女の力を宿しているもの。エンジェだってちゃんとお勉強すればきっと将来
Well,
立派な
Burncastle
魔女になれるん
seems
だ
to
よ。
agree at least.
魔女。それは楽しいのかしら？
楽しいよ。
楽しいよ。
日記を開かなくてもマリアやサクタロがいつも身近にいるのがわかるようになるよ。そしたら毎日がとっても楽しくなる。そしたらエンジェにマリアは他にもたくさんのお友達を紹介できるよ。そしたら毎日が忙しくてとっても賑やかになるよ。
I'll introduce you to all the demons I know. They'll be very nice to
それ
you.
は楽しいかもしれない。マリアお姉ちゃんが残した魔導書も持ってるわ。今度真面目に読んでみるわね。そしたら
The
私は
Grim
一人ぼ
Grimoire.
っちじゃなくなるかな。
Maria Onichan and Sakatara said it at the same time, happy that I had developed an interest in the world of witches. End scene. Oh wait, no, we're still in Maria world. With her knapsack on her back and half of Sakataro's face peeking out of it, she triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day, after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters on their shops, or an employee rushing or else staggering on their way home. Amidst all that, Maria, who was in a good mood like someone on a hike, probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance at her back with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. However, convenience stores, which had been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often late. Maria lowered her knapsack from her back, and carrying it like a child in her arms, she hurried over to the sweet buns corner. I'm always after those sweet buns. She pointed to a sweet bun she had eaten before, explaining to Sakataro that this one was delicious, and that one was pretty good too. Sakataro seemed to be enjoying it a lot.
マリアは3色パンにする。これ一つでね、あんことクリームといちごジャムが
That's
食べら
quite
れ
the
るの。
combination.
でもたまにウグイスあんだったり白あんだったりするの。あんこは1種類でいい。うりゅう。いろいろ入ってて面白そう。うりゅう。あとはマリアはフルーツヨーグルトにする。フルーツは入って
Get that
る
girl a
けど
Go-Gurt.
お菓子じゃないよね。うん、きっとママも大丈夫。サクタラもどれか欲しい？売りは？いいの？お金は大丈夫？うん、全然平気。ほら、だからサクタラにも好きなものを買ってあげられるよ。
Oh, is that the guy on the money?
一緒に食べよう。
Like some emperor or something. I don't know. I don't recognize that name. I don't know names of people. When Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sakataro bent his head slightly, worried. His tummy is small. He's small.
この小さいお菓子ヨーグルトは30円だね。
30. Prince Shotoku was the guy who brought Buddhism to Japan? Oh, okay. Baby yogurt. Baby yogurt. For babies.
僕はそれでいい。マリアと一緒にヨーグルト。サクタルと一緒にヨーグルト。
Maria put the 3-colored bread and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of the tobacco shop that had been here until last year.
お嬢ちゃん、この時間によく見かけるね。偉いけど、今度からこの時間のお買い物にはお母さんと一緒においでね。
ママがいいって言ったから大丈夫。ママはいつもお仕事で帰りが遅いけど、マリアたちは寂しくなんかないの。ね、サクタロウ。うりゅー。
そっか、そりゃ大変だね。
Tough living.
ジュースを一本おまけしてあげるよ。
The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into the bag with everything else. Uh-oh. This surely will not lead to unforeseen consequences. Since she had been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. I'm sure this will be great. This will be good for everybody. Rosa definitely won't find out. With the vinyl bag with the sweet bun in it around her elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakataro in it with the same arm, and drinking her soda, the two of them walked home.
柚子胡椒ソーダって微妙。サクタロも飲んでみる？おりゅ？おりゅ、おりゅ、おりゅ、おりゅ、おりゅ。
Drinking sounds.
おりゅ、マリアひどい。まずい。だよね。
Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can to Sakataro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was fun for Maria to share the taste of this weird drink that she had gotten for free with Sakataro. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, the moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rosa's overnight stays, and when she'd been scolded by her mother. But this moon was very warm, and it seemed to watch over the two of them as she enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maria and Sakataro. Anj watched the two of them go from behind. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maria Onichan and Sakataro together, it became very hard to remember all of those long nights when she'd cried because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't say it to Maria Onichan, but if I'd been able in the same position, I may have given a stuffed animal the name Sakataro, but it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness, but Maria Onichan was different. Sakataro isn't a stuffed animal or a toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could play all by themselves. The scrunkly. Was it because Sakataro was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. If there's a secret here, it doesn't lie within Sakataro. I think it probably lies within Maria Onichan. The baby. The Eevee.
これが
マリアお姉ちゃんの言う魔法の力なの？
魔法を知るということは、今まですぐそばにいたのに気づけなかったたくさんの友達に気づけるということ。まるで新しいおもちゃ
We're spending a long time in the flashback dimension.
みたいに楽しいこと。
If even I'm locked up in an academy without a single friend, had power like Maria Onichan, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. I wonder if I'll be able to honestly shed tears on nights I feel like crying, to smile on gray nights.
できるよ。エンジェはできる。
Yes, Asmodee? Is there something you would like to know?
だってエンジェにだって魔
Ah,
女になれる資格がある
this is what you desire, is it? Of course! You paid for it.
魔女になる資格。
マリアも魔女になれる資格
Everybody loves to be
あるよ。
a good, strong, powerful witch.
だからまだまだ勉強中の修行中なの。
Of course! I would never hurt my eyesight. But I appreciate your concern.
きっと素敵な魔女になってほうきでお空をかけてケーンで虹を描いて飴玉を空から降らせるの。
That doesn't seem quite in the witch playbook from what I've seen
マリアはきっとできるよ。
so far.
そしたらエンジェにも見せてあげるね。きっとそれは素敵な夢の中のような光景だから。
Maria Onichan said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way I can become a witch, but if Maria Onichan says it, it makes me feel that maybe I really can become a witch. Maybe, in reality, on that desolate night when no flower of a smile could possibly have bloomed, her magic surely gave birth to a smile.
魔女になれるかな？
なれるよ。エンジェは少し年齢を重ねちゃったから。
Bound by gravity, you
少し
say?
重力に引か
Time
れ
to
ちゃって
get
る。
the axis.
だからマリアよりも修行は大変かもしれないけど、でもきっとなれるよ。
Listen, all you need is some psycho
エ
frames,
ンジェは魔法
and we'll bring out your new type powers. It'll go great.
私が魔法？
だってほら、もうこの世にはいない私をこうして呼び出して語らっているよ。
Yeah, like that.
これは魔法なの？
私が日記に残した魂のかけらをエンジェは魔法で膨らませて私を蘇らせてる。さっきも言ったよね。こうして私と再会して会話ができて時に笑顔を見せられるんだから、エンジェは魔法の才能がきっとあるんだよ。マリアお姉ちゃんが保証する。
お姉ちゃんはさっき言ったわ。私は日記を開いた時にしか会えないと思ってるけど、本当はいつも身近にいるって。
I'm sure this will be fine. Everything will be okay.
私に
Nothing bad will happen to the Maria diary.
それを見て、今こうしているようにお姉ちゃんと会話ができる？いつでも？
いつでもお話できるよ。朝のおはようの時だっていつもそばにいるし、授業中だってそばにいる。退屈な授業は私とお話しして気を紛らわせようよ。
From your boredom.
食事の時には話し相手になれるし、お昼休みだってこれまでのようにいつも一緒にいようよ。放課後だって一緒にいるし、もちろん寮に帰ってからだって私は
Yeah, yeah,
い
I
つも
get it.
そばに
I
い
get
る。
it. You're always there.
日記を広げた時にしか
Except when the
私を見て
diary is
くれないだ
open.
け。
I'm sure this will not lead to any temptation.
日記を閉じてもマリアお姉ちゃんは私のそばにいてくれるんだよね。
いるよ。だからエンジェが私を見ようとして、そして話そうとしてくれれば、私はきっと答えられるよ。しっかりと見て話そうとしてくれれば。
私やってみる。
簡単じゃないよ。 きなり上手くなってきっといかないよ。分かってる。きっと簡単じゃないと思う。
You must become strong. You must think really hard.
でも私
You will not be
マリアお
fast.
姉ちゃんみたいに
You'll
な
have
り
to
たい。
do a lot of pull-ups.
おお、分かった。じゃあ私をよく見て、しっかり見て。うん。ゆっくり目を閉じたり開いたりし、いきなり長くつむっちゃダメ。私の姿を瞳に焼き付けては、それをまぶたの裏に染み込ませていくつもりで。
Alright.
うん。
Close
やっ
them.
てる。
They're closed. I'm doing it.
まぶたを閉じても私をイメージできるようになったら、
You must imagine the Maria JPEG sprite in your mind's eye.
そのままゆっくり柔らかく目を閉じていて。どう？まだ私が見えている？うん。多分見えてると思う。じゃあ一度目を開いて。いよいよ本番。心を落ち着けたら日記を閉じて。その時一度マリアの姿は消えてしまう
It'll
か
be
もしれ
fine
ない。
now. It'll be all okay.
でも焦らずに。
It's just the
心
funny
を落ち着けて
disappearing act.
そしてまぶたの裏に染み込ませた私を逆に瞳に染み込ませていくつもりで、ゆっくりと虚空に私をイメー
Maria
ジして。
explains to Andre what a tulpa is. Yeah. It is just a tulpa.
私を
Make your little big sister tulpa.
大丈夫。じゃあ閉じるね、日記。おう。
Slowly, I closed it. When I did so, a gray reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Maria Onichan's forms disappeared. Give it all you've got. Have courage. Take the first step into the world of witches. I felt like Maria Onichan was cheering me on inside my heart. She's cheering me on? Really? Or do I just think that she is? No, that's wrong. It's because I think this that I cannot see her. Maria Onichan is always by my side. And even now, she's definitely there, cheering me on to do my best. That reached my ears. So I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination or the voice of my own heart. I believe that Maria Onichan is there. I mustn't doubt. I believe. Onichan said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But looking at that empty space by the empty back wall of the school building, amidst those almost heartlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out her name was unexpectedly difficult. The chains of common sense that had clung to me until today sneered at me, telling me that calling out to the empty air was ridiculous. It was almost like being told to take a step forward off the roof of a skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. Yeah, who would do that? Who would do that? It's Maria Onichan saying it. It's alright, she's saying, that I'm someone who can do it. Stop thinking that you might fall, or that it would be foolish to take a step off a roof. And free yourself from these chains of common sense. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind. Make the vivid form of Maria Onichan in the empty space before you rise to the surface. Understand magic, and see Maria Onichan.
Maria Onichan. え？誰かいるの？
Ah, tricked. At that time, I was answered by a rustle in the bushes and a wild cry, and I came to my senses. It looked like I wasn't the only one behind the school building. No, since I'd been so immersed in the world of the diary, I hadn't noticed someone coming. I recognized a group of 3 beyond the bushes. They were kids from my class. From their appearance, it felt as though they'd come from behind the school building to gossip about someone or talk in secret. I hurried out of that place. Because if it became known that I'd been alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it had become a pain again.
言ったよね。
言ったよね。
Law of Tsunami, thank you for following. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army.
マリアお姉ちゃんとか言ったよね。やばくない？心霊とか見えちゃってんじゃないの？
Whoopsie, it all backfired on you. What a terrible existence. I could hear the shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Maria Onichan had been made fun of, I left that place at a quick pace and then a jog once I turned the corner. And I might have made it to Onichan's world with just a little more time. It was frustrating, aggravating. Why does everyone get in my way? I haven't gotten in anyone else's way, not even once. I ran and ran, but it still felt as though I could hear their shrill laughter. Oh my gosh, are we out of the past dimension? That was long. Yes, okay, we're back in... No, never mind, this is the future now. We're in 1998. Yeah, that was the past of the future. This is the regular future. Oh my god, who is this?
あんたビルのてっぺんから飛び降りたんだって。
追っかけがうざかったんでちょっと
Wait, what? Anji and an old man were wearing an expensive suit were alone in a massive modern conference room. All of the newest machines for presentation were installed there. Wait, what do you... Okay, so this is after she jumped off at the end of episode 3. Alright, sure, whatever. This guy definitely looks like a low-level dude you'd fight in Yakuza. But they didn't upset its refined and composed atmosphere, and that alone was enough to make the business-like theme of the room abundantly clear. However, that didn't matter at all to Anje. She carelessly sat on a high-class chair that executive was making a salary of several 10 million yen probably sat in, looking aloof from the world.
下の方の階で改装工事してて転落防止ネットがあるの知ってましたし
Check his pachinko? This man is in every When They Cry game? That's funny. That is a yep, that looks like a Yakuza goon. The Yakuzis. Goddamn, I forgot how much sometimes the pachinko are just stuffs balloons in girls' chests. It's a little ridiculous. Anji talked about it like it was no big deal, but in reality it had been a miracle among miracles. To think that she'd shot through several layers of safety netting for the remodeling project, been caught in a multicolored banner adorning the atrium and slipped off, only to be softly caught by a final banner and land on the ground without a scratch. And then briskly leave that place. He's as serious as Sid? What a terrible, shitty Sid. Just a Yakuza asshole. It put Hong Kong movies to shame. She doesn't want no trouble.
高さ200メートルの超高層だよ。もしも思い通りにならなかったら、今頃大変なことになってただろうよ。
死んだら死んだで、それまでってことでもいいかなって思いまして。まあその。ちょっとした運試しです。
A bit.
若気の至りってことで。
I guess this is like, this future bit is like introducing more doubt about whether or not, you know, this whole bit is real. Right? Her traveling back in time. The whole point is you, the player, are also supposed to be able to doubt the existence of magic. So it's like, well, we gotta present an alternative perspective to what happened to her. As though saying that she'd had enough of that topic, Anji shrouded coldly. Seeing that, the old gentleman, who was looking at the world below through a crack in the blinds, cackled. That's a good face.
Oh,
this guy knew Kinzo? His role in Higurashi is funny? Okay. Well, I'm sure I'll read Higurashi eventually.
会長も博打に平気で命をかけられる人だったが、これも後ろ宮の血なのかね。やっぱりあんた将来大物になるよ。悪いことは言わない。家出ごっこはこの辺で切り上げて、 スマデラの家に戻ったらどうだい？
お母さん、実家と仲が悪かったって聞いてます。お葬式で初対面の人の家になんて行きたくないです。
The Sumaderas are Mom's family. Kyrie Sumadera. They're an old family from Kyoto, and compared to Mom's frank attitude, unbelievably strict. The only Sumadera I'd been on good terms with was Grandpa, who was living apart from his family under the guise of retirement. Mom kept in touch with him too, but she avoided the rest of the family completely, almost hostilely so. So when I went out to play with the Sumadera family, it was always Grandpa's house I visited. When I was young, I didn't really understand it. But I hear that Grandpa was in an extremely weak position, as a man who'd moved into his wife's family registered, and his relationship with Grandma was also bad. You might even say that Grandma hated him and confined him to the house. It isn't hard to imagine that, because she had a soft spot for Grandpa alone, Mom was also hated by the Sumaderas. Since I was her daughter, they probably hated me quite a bit too. And yet, they appeared for the first time at Mom's funeral, shamelessly going on about how big I'd gotten, like they could actually act like family after all this time. When Aunt Eva died, I could inherit all the wealth of the Ushiramiya family. If that wasn't what they were after, there's no way they would have been able to say such disgusting words.
まあ、一人ぼっちになっちまって自暴自棄になりたいエンジェちゃんの気持ちもわからなくもないな。
自暴自棄とかじゃないです。こううるさいエヴァおばさんもやっとくたばったんで。
That's right. Eva's finally gone.
周りが大げさに騒ぎすぎなだけです。
Of course, everyone's after the best Ushiramiya wealth I bear. They must think that becoming my guardian means they'll be able to do as they please with that wealth. Just how many people have tried to get close to me, acting like they want to be a substitute parent? Like this guy. Like this guy who looks like he's made of 80% grease.
実の孫みたいに思ってるんだからさ。
当面はノーサンキューという。
ノーサンキュー。
それより話を戻してください。
エンジちゃん、何度聞かれたって俺が隠してることは何もないよ。あの日の六軒島の唯一の生き残りが会長なんだ。その会長が何も語らずに言っちまった。俺だって何もわからないよ。すべては闇の中だ。
This old gentleman was one of those leaders who had been entrusted with the business group Eva had built up after she passed away. The one called chairman was the former chairman, Ushiramiya Eva. His company once had friendly ties with Hideyoshi's business, and he'd had a close relationship with both Hideyoshi and Eva. For that reason, when Eva lost Hideyoshi, he became the only person to whom Eva might have let her true intentions slip. Whenever Eva's heart was torn by the loss of her family, and whenever she took it out on Anji, he had acted as a buffer between the two. So although Anji didn't trust him, she found him a very easy person to question. Ah, nice correcting yourself so quickly. I know.
それは俺も世間やワイドショーと同じ程度の疑問は持ったさ。
どうしてエヴァおばさんは事故当時屋敷から2キロも離れたところ。
That's a great question. I didn't even know that.
それも嵐の晩に。
当時、金蔵さんは次の後継ぎに誰を選ぶかで迷われていた。表向きは長男のクラウスさんってことになってたんだが。
To be fair, Kraus is not very trustworthy. He's into NFTs. He probably thinks AI-generated art is the future.
4人の中から公平に後継ぎを決めるため、気分の謎というゲームじみた試練を課した。
それは表向きだな。
How many apes does he own? Well, none anymore. All of his apes are gone.
初めからエヴァさんを当主後継ぎにするつもりだったんだ。長男が後継ぎだという自らのルールを撤回してでも、クラウスさんと違い、非常に勤勉で優秀だったエヴァさんに家を任せた。
Well, I guess if he wanted to choose somebody like him, he ended up being right about Eva.
気分の謎を解いた。
Hello, Kriya. Thanks for following. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. I am Daihime-sama. Your Hime-sama. Parentheses male. The new... Oh, wait, I don't have to read that. He already said
クラウ
that.
スさんから
Crossfoot AI generate big boobed Disney princesses? That's true. We've established he loves Disneyland. They're gonna put him in charge of Disney Europe and it's gonna go great. I hear it.
茶番ってどういう意味ですか？
Kraus like you've seen that one that's like just like a ladies it's like a ladies, you know, the AI generated one that's just like a Victorian ladies, but it's like her head just like on top of like a lower torso and it looks weird. Kraus like gets that when he tries to make like big booby ladies with AR art and he just like starts breaking down crying.
あの碑文は誰にも解ける必要はなかったのさ。適当に刑事期間を経た後、その答えを与えるだけでいい。
He could do that, but I really do feel like Eva came to the answer on her own in episode 3.
それこそが当主継承の証ってわけさ。
Like, I don't feel like this is actually the case, but who knows? This game lies to me a lot.
まあ、当主継承がうんぬんなんて話をしたら余計陰謀説が優勢になっちゃうからね。俺もバカじゃないからさ。誤解を招くようなことはわざわざ口にしないよ。
This was his theory. At that time, the Uchiramiya family head Kinzo, whose remaining life was announced to be short, was trusted by the problem of who was to succeed him. Troubled by the problem, that is. Normally, the successor would be fixed as the oldest son Kraus, whom Kinzo had chosen himself. But in his later years, Kinzo began to think that Eva would make a more fitting family head. However, Kinzo, who was stubborn even against himself, was stymied by the title of successor that he'd already given to Kraus. And he'd searched for an official stance by which he could skip over Kraus and select Eva as his successor. That official stance was the riddle of the epitaph. The primary successor was still Kraus, but there was a new rule saying that if someone appeared who could solve the riddle, they would be chosen as the successor of the headship. Then, on what could probably be his final family conference, Kinzo told Eva the answer to that riddle himself. In short, it was the same as proclaiming that Eva herself was the successor.
エヴァさんはあの日、金蔵さんに呼ばれ、それを打ち明けられたんだ。そして、当主を引き継ぐため、当主だけが知る。
I mean, you could probably even think of every episode so far as just like another theory that people after the fact have come up with for how everybody died.
で、一足早くその隠し館で待っていたエヴァおばさんは、そのおかげで事故の難を逃れたと。エヴァおばさんが全ての財産を奪うために事故を装ってみんなを殺し、自分だけ難を逃れただけかもしれない。
Maybe.
大衆氏はそう騒いでるな。だが、俺はエヴァさんを信じてるよ。信ずるに足るポイントがいくつかあると思ってる。
例えば？
今エンジェちゃんが指に通してるその
That's true. I mean, she could have just killed Kinzo and taken it.
指輪は金蔵さんが特別に作らせた世界に一つしかない指輪だ。そして今エンジェちゃんが指にしているものは間違いなくそれだと作った細工師も認めてる。
The Uchiramiya family head's ring. That ring, with the heft of gold and the one-winged seal on it, had a diamond arranged on a pedestal and felt both sturdy and reminiscent of the dark hobbies of the rich. Kinzo had worn that on his finger without removing it even for a moment. This man was saying that the fact that Eva had it proved that Kinzo had acknowledged her as a successor.
その指輪を確かにエヴァさんが持つからこそ、そして実際にエヴァさんが優秀で、クラウスさんにはビジネスシーンでの数々の集大が知られていたことを加味すると、エヴァさんの話は全くの作り話とは思えないんだ。
その指輪を奪うためにおじい様を殺害した可能性。
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
そしてエヴァおばさんは何らかの細工をして事故に見せかけて一族を。
そうだな。大衆氏は財産の独り占めが目当てで一族を皆殺しにしたなんて言ってるようだな。
That's pretty much what we saw happen. It was just a weird witch version of her, so that Beato made. Which could all just be a lie, of course, because witches aren't real, we all know this. Oh, you don't?
そう信ずるに足るポイントの2つ目は
エヴァさんのご家族だよ。秀吉さんにジョージ君。
Yeah, that's a good point. Why would she kill her own husband and son? Like even if you know, Ani's perspective is that Eva's a totally heartless, awful person, she would have no reason to kill Hideyoshi and George because like they would only get the inheritance after she died anyways. True, part of me didn't want to believe it or acknowledge it, but I did understand vaguely. Aunt Eva certainly had been a person who highly treasured her family. After all, the root of her twisted personality had been nothing more than the sadness of losing her beloved husband and son. After getting hit with her angry outbursts as she tried to distract herself from that pain, I have no feelings of sympathy at all. But it's not like I can't imagine how the incredible shock of losing her whole family must have changed her character.
家族を愛したエヴァおばさんが夫と息子を見捨てるわけがないと。
そうだ。もし本当にエヴァさんが犯人で一族を事故に見せかけて皆殺しにしたならば、夫と息子が絶対に生き残ってるはず。I
feel like even if she really hated them, like it's really a matter of reasoning. Like why she would have no reason to. They wouldn't get the money anyways.
へりくつをこねてね。もし秀吉さんとジョージ君も無事だったなら。さすがの俺でもエヴァさんの陰謀を疑ったろうよ。俺は秀吉さんの葬儀で見せたエヴァさんのあの号泣を演技だなんて。
She is known to wail.
どっちも状況証拠的ですね。エヴァおばさんの結
I mean, I guess you could go like further and say, well, she killed George and Hideyoshi to hide the fact that it would make it obvious that she was the killer if she hadn't killed them. Like, oh, everybody dies except conveniently her whole family. I guess you could say that.
それを言っちゃおしまいだよ。生き残ったのはエヴァさんのみ。その彼女がそれが真実だと言うんだからさ。
でも彼女の潔白は誰にも証明できない。
ああ、そうさ。そして彼女の犯行も。
It's all up in the air. You can't prove a negative. Good old Hempel's Raven or whatever. Or Cat in the Box.
派手な事件だったからね。陰謀説を騒ぐ世論に後押しされて、警察が随分とエヴァさんを調べたはずさ。
It was easy to feel something unnatural about the claim that Eva had avoided the accident by coincidence, because she alone had escaped to a hidden mansion. Furthermore, at the time, Hideyoshi's company had been right in the middle of a takeover struggle, and in order to buy off the big stockholders, she'd wanted a large sum of cash. It shouldn't be too hard to find a motive there. But as a matter of fact, there had been nothing at all that implicated Eva as she went to the family conference. Nothing unnatural was found on her that could have been used to brutally murder her family and make it look like an accident. The servants who escaped harm by being off duty on that day also stated that there hadn't been anything strange regarding anyone related to the event, Eva included. Putting all of that together, it could only be concluded that Ushirimiya Eva had headed to Rokenjima for a normal family conference without any change, and had encountered an accident. Yeah, it certainly was an accident that all those people were stabbed in very specific and different places. The knee, the ankle, the leg, the gut, the head, probably somewhere else, I think. The back, I think? I forget. The heart? Not the back, the heart. That just means the police are bad at their jobs. Typical. Yeah, devil's proof. He knows the magic words. Wasn't there an explosion in this timeline? No, no explosion.
消極的事実の証明
No one mentioned an explosion.
エヴァおばさんが犯罪を犯したか否か、それを判断する材料が見つからないから、そのまま真相は迷宮入りということですね。
そうだな。エンジェちゃんの期待する言い方にするとそうなるな。
I can't prove anything, you can't prove anything, we're stuck in the mystery forever. Isn't it great?
あの島で不幸な事故があった。そしてたまたまエヴァさんが生き残った。
But I mean, you know, when we're talking about the justice system, police and stuff, it's not about if you can prove evidence, it's about proving reasonable doubt.
しかも、それ
You don't, or not prove evidence, prove innocence. Well, I don't know how if Japan's justice system works like that, but I'm assuming reasonable doubt is a part of it.
信じられるか否かってことになるわけさ。俺は信じたよ。指輪の話や彼女の尊敬できる家族愛、そして葬儀で見せた涙、それらを加味して考えて彼女の話を信じようと思ったんだ。
でも私は信じない。指輪なんて奪う気なら方法はいくらでもあるだろうし、家族仲が本当に良かったかなんて誰にもわからない。葬儀の涙が本物かなんて証明不能。
I feel like Eva was probably good at crocodile
私はそも
tears.
そもエヴァおばさんなんて大嫌い。だから私は彼女の話を信じようなんて思わない。
事件の真相をどう見るか。俺とエンジェちゃんで真っ向から対立しちまったな。俺たちに与えられてる情報は全く同じなのに、全く異なる見解も持っちまう。こういうこと政治や経済でもよくあるんだ。同じ事業をやっても必ず評価は分かれちまう。どうしてかわかるかい？
いいえ。
愛があるかどうかさ。
Without love it can't be
相手
seen.
に愛を感じてるかどうかで。
Without love it can't be seen. We keep going back to this concept. I feel like it's important or something.
好きな人が貧しい
Almost like it will resonate throughout this entire story.
でも嫌いなやつが施しなんて始めたら売名行為だとかばらまき行政だとか非難合々さ。何をしてもしなくても愛があれば感謝し、
So
愛
true.
がなければ非難する。それが世の中ってもんだ。
You do be working like that sometimes.
エヴァおばさんのことを信じられるか信じられないか、それだけの違いってことですか？
彼女を疑う人間には彼女が何をしてもしなくてもそれは実に不自然に見えるだろうさ。逆もしかり。俺はね、世の中には真実なんてものはよっぽどのことがない
Everything's a lie.
存在しないんじゃ
Nothing
ない
is true.
と思うね。いや仮にもし真実が存在したとしてもそれを信じるか信じないかは愛があるか否かで決められちまう。絶対性の宿らない真実なんて真実と呼べるのかい？エヴァさんが物理的なアリバイを示したとしても君はそれを信じられたかい？
No, Anji would probably not remember anything. Or not remember, but trust anything. It's hard to counter that. I hate Aunt Eva, so I'll probably deny any information beneficial to her, and interpret any neutral information in a negative way. In other words, the truth is already decided inside me. So just what in the world is this truth that I'm still searching for, unsatisfied?
そういうことさ。つまり俺から何を聞こうともエンジェちゃんがエヴァさんを未だ疑っている以上何を聞いても今更何も変わらない。
Why are you even talking to this guy, honestly?
少なくとも
Like, what are you trying to accomplish with this conversation, Anji?
真相に至ることはできんと思うね。
私では真相に至れませんか？
だってエンジェちゃんは どんな新情報や新証拠が見つかったってエヴァさんが犯人だってスタンスは変えないんだろう。ならこれ以上何を調べたって意味はないじゃないか。君の中の真相はすでに決まっているわけさ。
That's right. You've already decided based on your preconceived emotions. You're not objective, Anji. I've been told by YouTube reviewers that not being objective is the worst thing you can be.
だがもしエンジちゃんがそれを真相と思わずにさらに奥深くの本当の真相にたどり着きたいと願うなら一歩話したつもりなんだけどな。なんだかわかるかい？
愛ですか？よく意味がわからないです。
You love nothing, and you feel
エン
no
ジちゃ
love.
んは今エヴァさんを犯人だと仮定しものを考えている。でもそれじゃあ片目でものを見てるようなものなんだ。片目じゃどんなに目を凝らしてもものを立体
That's
的
true.
に見る
You'll
ことは
have
でき
no
ないだろ
depth perception in that sense.
だからもう一つ目がいるんだ。もちろん今の目とは別の立場での。
エヴァおばさんが犯人ではな
You're
い。
hearing like stuff from my microphone? Well, when I'm quiet, it's not fluctuating.
あるいは本当に事故であるという仮定にも基づいて物事を見ろと。
そうそう、その通り。
You hear some static when I talk? Man, I've been trying to fix that. People have mentioned that. I don't know what's going on. Nothing about my settings have changed. This is very annoying. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what's causing it, because I haven't changed anything about my plugin settings or anything like that. So I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm not sure. I'll try messing around with it and hopefully fix it next time.
物事を考えるときには異なる立ち位置から見るようにするんだ。そうじゃないと本当のことは
I really don't know what causes that because I haven't changed anything about my plugins, you know, my VSTs or my gain or anything like that.
新聞だってそうさ。一つの新聞だけじゃその記事を書いた記者の目線一つでしかものが見られない。複数の新聞を読むことで初めて立体的かつ冷静に分析。
This one is... You got a good point there. Remember to get your news from multiple sources. Without love, the truth cannot be seen. We keep saying it. Give me one moment, actually. Give me 1 second. Maybe this will help. Maybe this will help with the sound because I had a castle window open. I didn't think it was too noisy, but maybe just the basic airflow is causing it. I don't know. If not, I don't know. I know, it's like it's some sort of phrase you're gonna hear a lot in this visual novel, am I right? Maybe you thought it interesting that such a flashy phrase would pop out of his mouth. For a while he laughed, looking pleased. At the same time, he was telling me that he'd said everything he knew. and that it was about time to leave. I understood that and got to my feet.
俺にもエンジェちゃんの気持ちが分かったよ。
Maybe Anji is just talking to this guy she knew was like close to Eva because she's dead now and she can do that.
あんたが納得するようにしばらく好きにしたらいい。当時君は6歳だった。わけがわからないうちに家族を失い、未だに心の整理がつかない気持ち、よくわかるんだ。真相はわかるかもしれない、わからないかもしれない。
Maybe you'll never know anything. Wouldn't that be
エヴァさんは犯人かもし
unsatisfying?
れないし、犠牲者かもしれない。エンジェちゃんが信じる真実が見つけられるのを祈ってるよ。若いうちの旅も貴重な経験かもしれない。
ありがとうございます。
It's like that one movie about the 4 kids in the
お
railroad
忙しいと
tracks.
ころお邪魔
Maybe
して
you'll
本
even
当に
find a
すみ
dead
ません
body
でした。
too. Maybe
おこのみ
Kiefer
さん
Sutherland will be there.
いいっていいって。これからどうするんだ。
まあ適当に。事件関係者やその道の専門家ってやつに何人かアポを入れてるので、そちらは当た
Did
る
you
つもりで
just...
す。
Oh, to him. It took like a second to load for some reason. I was very confused about that emote. It's a Himemi emote. I followed Himemi recently. She seems fun. She's obsessed with Leon Kennedy's pussy. I don't get that feeling, Sweet Creamy. I don't think they were romantically involved. I just feel like he was one of the closest people that she could trust. Like more of like a business relationship, a close business relationship.
納得のいく答えが見つかるといいな。
At that time, company president Okanoga's secret came in, handing him... Oh, secretary. Came in, handing him a memo over his shoulder. He read it, then looked between it and my face.
エンジちゃん、旅に出てごらんと言った矢先で申し訳ないんだが、耳に入れといた方がいい情報だ。
Yeah, no, Okanogi... I think they said Okanogi was, like, in Hideyoshi's company, and he took over Hideyoshi's company after, you know, the deaths. The incident.
君、今だいぶやばいらしいね。
Oh boy, what now?
私の金を狙ってる連中ですか？だからお金なんてくだらない。
Money is stupid. That's why you should give it all to me.
全額を福祉に寄付しようなんてしたら、エンジェちゃんの財産で川残業してる連中が目ん玉飛び出しちまうよ。
ああ、スマデラの家ですか。あいつら、何を偉そうに保護者面して。
I haven't forgotten Aunt Eva. There's no way I'll put myself in the care of the Sumadera family. They probably want to, as Aunt Eva often threatened in the past, cut off my arms and legs, throw me in a warehouse, and suck the Ushirimiya family's wealth dry.
スマデラ家の使いがここに来るそうだ。
Oh boy, her favorite
君
people.
を引き渡せと。いやいや、保護したいと言ってるな。
使いって？
君のおばだよ。キリエさんの妹さんだ。君のことを妹のように思っていると前に話してた。
I'm sure she does.
ご冗談。せめて孫と言ってよ、あのババア。
Hana
文
Baba.
脈から見るに、君の意思は聞く気がないようだ。地下2階の駐車場に車が待たせてある。行きなさい。
スマデラの家から引き渡せって言われてるんでしょ？いいの？私を行か
I
せ
mean,
て。
it's not like there's anything they can really do.
エンジェちゃんはきっと将来大物に
Like,
なるよ。
Anji is literally legally an adult now. She's 18.
この歌詞はその時の出世払いってことにしとこう。行きな、早く。
After bowing silently and deeply, Anji left that place at a dash. After watching her leave, the female secretary straightened her glasses and whispers.
スマデラ家からは足止めをしておくように言われていますが、行かせてよろしいのですか？
I mean, yeah, I guess they could have her killed, but I mean, like, this approach is weird because it's not like they have any guardianship over her.
足止めならしたよ、十分に。それに間に合わないのはスマデラの過失だね。エンジェちゃんには逃げろと言ったし、スマデラにはエンジェちゃんが来てるよと通報したし、捕まっても捕まらなくても双方に恨まれない。
Very tricky, Okanogi.
世の中はすべからく愛だね。
What did he mean by this?
大丈夫。逃げおせるよ。
This guy seems to know more than he's letting on.
手巻くためにビルから飛び降りられる子だからね。
Okanogi looked down again through a crack in the blinds, muttering, nope, definitely couldn't do it. Anji wasn't a fool herself. She got off the elevator, but on the 3rd floor. A taxi in the 2nd level of the basement? That's so neat and clean that I don't like it. It's probably better to refuse for now. But my enemies aren't fools either. They're probably waiting in the 1st floor lobby as well as the underground parking lot. It's such a massive building. Instead of getting anxious and escaping outside, maybe it's better to stay inside and wait it out. No, that's useless. If they get their hands on a security room in a modern building like this, I'll have nowhere to run to. This entire building is like a massive dead end. The 3rd floor is the business floor. A young girl like me will clearly stick out. In Japan, you are apparently under the care of a parent or guardian until 20? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I guess that would cause a problem for her. Trying not to stand out any more than I had to, I walked at a brisk pace, searching for an emergency exit. It'd be perfect if the staircase was an outside one. I found the door to the emergency exit. Wouldn't that make an alarm go off? I guess not. After opening that heavy door, I found the outside staircase I'd hoped for. I bumped into a man who looked like an employee skipping work and smoking a cigarette. After glaring at me, he quickly crushed his cigarette and went away. It looked like there was no one below. If I'm going to escape, now is my only chance. Uh-oh. Just when I thought that, a black car slid right under me and came to a sudden stop with an incredible squealing of tires. Judging by the sound of tires, it seemed they had several other allies and that one of them had come here to block this path.
かすみおばさん、やるじゃない。非常口から出てくるメイにまで送迎車を送るなんて。
Bam bam! The doors of the car were forcefully opened and 3 black-suited men jumped out, looking up at the emergency staircase. Crap, our eyes met. Listen, just jump off this building too. You seem to be really lucky, it'll be fine. The 3 of them began to clamber up the emergency exit. They've already announced that they plan to be rough. This is pretty bad. As long as I don't stop breathing, they've probably been ordered to grab me no matter what, even if they've got to rip out one of my arms. Clink, 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 clink. Their heavy, wild footsteps became a helix and began to rise from the lower floors, getting closer. In the entrance lobby of the building, a woman with 7 black-suited guards behind her advanced at a leisurely pace. Seeing this ostentatious entrance, the security guards for the building ran up to them, asking if they had an appointment. Oh, she gets a Sprite. She from Kyoto, then? I think that's where they said the family was from. How do I like Umineko so car? I am assuming you mean so far. We're not in a car. I'm in my castle. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm really intrigued by where this story is going, both as a mystery and like thematically. Okay, we'll look at her sprite. Yeah, that's good. I'm impressed, Pachinko sprite drawer. You didn't stuff bowling balls into her kimono. Very impressive. I'm surprised. I was expecting it.
当社ではご来賓の皆様にはフロントにてセキュリ
下がれ下船が私はお前たちの社長に呼ばれてきたんだよ
She's even a MILF and we know this game loves
おこの
MILFs
ぎ哲郎を呼んでおいで呼びつけておいて出迎えもないとはねこれだから東京
You really hate Tokyo
これは失礼
I guess she'll be laughing in every SMT game when it gets blown up
ようこそ後宮グループへ妻寺かすみさん
Oh, that means she got put in the thingy. Sumadera Kasumi, daughter of the declining noble family Sumadera, Ushiromiya Kirie's younger sister. She despises her sister and by extension Anji as well. She's the opposite of the freewheeling Kirie, person Kirie once was, an old appearance in high regard, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, this is all just a craving for the limelight caused by the complex she had towards her sister. There are several opposing factions in the Sumidera family, and they're constantly engaged in a secret feud over who will control the vast wealth Anj holds. I should look at the Umineko Pachinko animations? I will. I guess they would be animated, wouldn't they? Why is he just a photograph? Did they not draw... Did Ryakishi not draw a full body for this man? He's like, ah, whatever. Yeah, she doesn't have a full body either. I guess they only appear in a few scenes, so they didn't bother. Okanogi Tetsuro, a leading member of the Ushiramiya group. Between the time of Eva's death and Anji succeeding her position, management of the group has fallen to core members like him in her stead. However, Anji has no desire to inherit that role, leaving the group to the brink of fracturing internally and putting Okanogi in a difficult position. He was once the president of a foodstuffs distribution company and had an intimate relationship with Hideyoshi's business. Because of that long-lasting association, Eva trusted him particularly, and he was appointed to an important post within the group. You think it's just the style of the characters only in the future? I guess that makes sense. She's fucking dead. I just figured because, like, they might not appear in many scenes, they didn't bother drawing a full-body sprite for them. With his secretary behind him, Okanogi dashingly appeared from the elevator. I wouldn't call that hairline dashing, but okay. Even though both of them were bold smiles, they were wrapped in a tension reminiscent of the smell of gunpowder.
姉さんのかわいいかわいいメイを迎えに来たのよ私は。
後ろ宮グループでは時間厳守が
I've got shit to do, bitch.
時間を守れない人間は契約も守れないってのが先代会長のお言葉でして。
That does sound like something Eva would say.
東京まで呼びつけてなんてざまなの。逃がしたわね。
逃げられたと言ってもらいたいですな。これでも随分足止めはしたんです。さすがに蹴取られましてね。スマデラさんが時間通りに来てくれれば問題はなかったのですが。これだから地方人はルーズで困るんです。
We'll just throw classist remarks at each other. It's fine.
今なんとこの私になんと
You couldn't sense any of Kirie's open frankness in Kasumi's face. She wore the arrogance of the ancient Sumidera family towards the ruined Ushiromiya family, as well as pride, because she didn't want anyone to notice that her family was declining so much that they couldn't ignore the Ushiromiya family as well. Okanogi is voiced by Ken Narita. He's Lieutenant Bright's VA for Gundam. Oh, you know what? I did think he sounded a little familiar. Like, he's kind of putting on a drawl, so it was hard to tell, but I can totally hear Bright now. That's cool. Bright's one of my favorite Gundam characters, so it's nice to hear that trivia. Even at a glance, it was easy to understand why Anji hated her aunt so deeply. Will he get a slap? I don't know, I'm kind of hoping he slaps this lady. She couldn't stand even a slight insult, and though she still smiled, her eyebrow twitched. At that time, the black-suited man behind Kasumi whispered to her.
レンジ様を発見しました。対応中です。
あら、間に合ってよかった。ありがとうね、お好み。ようやくやんちゃなメイを連れて帰れそうだわ。
Mischievous. Eva's sis is voiced by... You mean Kirie's? This is Kirie's sister. Sumi Shimamoto. She's Ishizu in Yu-Gi-Oh! Huh.
私、あの子と一緒にゆっくりとお茶室で働いたくて、お道具まで準備して待ってたんだから。
That sounds like a metaphor for abuse. That just sounds like you're gonna beat her up with stuff. As the violent sound drew a helix, it rushed up at me from below, threatening to swallow me up. Of course, even if I fight, there's no way I'll be able to win. And yet, running into the building would be like jumping into a dead end of my own accord. My enemies will increase in number with time. If I don't do something here and now, I won't have any more chances to escape. Then, 3 muscular, black-suited men came into view below me. 1, 2, 3. 3 people. In other words, everyone who had gotten out of the car. If there had been just one of them, I might have been able to drop kick them or something and smash them in the head, which might work out. But it really would be impossible with 3 of them. Wait, 3? There's just 3. I should be able to make it. I can do it. Whee! Did she jump on the car? I know, Anji's always jumping off stuff. What is this, like, Sega arcade racing game ass song? Ow. See? That worked out perfectly, didn't it? There was just the 3 of them after all. I've already tried that once from a higher place. I knew I'd be able to jump down just 3 floors. It's a good thing the car they came in was right beneath me. Even if it wasn't as pleasant as a trampoline, it broke my fall. A little gently, a little roughly. Alright, now steal that car, Anji. Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Anji. The roof of the car broke my fall, leaving a massive dent around my body. Car roofs are surprisingly delicate. I don't think it's because of my weight. Apparently, the 3 people on the stairs hadn't planned on me jumping down. It seemed they now realized that they'd been outwitted and they were rushing down the stairs. I've got to run and escape while I have the chance. I moved my body, making clunking sounds on the car roof. Groovy. But I'd been naive. Of course they wouldn't all rush up the stairs without leaving one person behind. There was one black-suited man left in the driver's seat of the car that had broken my fall. He stuck his head out the window, and when he realized what had fallen on him, he jumped out. In a rush, I jumped off the roof, but the black-suited man's reactions were really fast. Either there was a massive reward for capturing me, or there'd be some harsh punishment in store for them if they let me get away. I grabbed her. This is why you should steal the car. Do that dropkick thing you said. I was mercilessly held down against the asphalt. I was being crushed face down, covered and pressed upon from above. It was a hold without a trace of elegance, but it was extremely practical and left me no room for resistance. I tried to push back with both hands, searching for a way to resist, but I was being pushed down solidly, and I couldn't even tear myself off the asphalt. Then another car came, squealing its tires as it slid to a sudden stop. Is it all over now? The man that had been crushing me let out a sharp cry. He was yelling straight into my ear, making my left ear ring. What in the world? Along with the black suit guy, I fell with a thunk. After landing face up, the first thing I saw was an arm stuck out right in front of my eyes. What? Who's this? Who's Amakusa? Who's this guy? What's with his cross? Amakusa grabbed my arm, easily pulled me up, spinning me around with himself as the center of gravity. Oh yeah, I guess I should look at his pachinko sprite. Who's this fuckboy? He does look like a fuckboy. Oh. Look at this dude. He looks like such a scumbag. Yeah, what is this, like, corset thing? It's not even a corset, it's just like a button-up shirt without the top half of it. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Yeah, it's kind of like neon white, isn't it? Like, I've seen this sort of thing on suits, but I don't know what to call it. It's not really a vest. Just when I thought it was like a dance, he flung me through the open door into the driver's seat. I climbed over the handbrake and slid into the passenger seat. Pushing me in, Amakusa also got into the driver's seat. Since we suddenly accelerated while I was still on all fours, I had to kick and struggle around on the chair for a while like a turtle that's been flipped over. Koji is voiced by Amakusa is voiced by Koji Yusa, Shadow the Hedgehog. He does look like a Shadow the Hedgehog motherfucker. Amakusa checked the rear-view mirror for cars in pursuit, but he flew into the artery of the big city without lowering his speed in the slightest. We sewed our way between cars one after another, just like a chase scene in some action movie. I was shaken by this horrible driving and had trouble sitting back down.
お嬢、お怪我は？
問題ないわ。
He's making such a stupid face.
人間って案外頑丈よ。私、次からは下りのエレベーターを逃したら窓から飛び降りることにするわ。
お嬢の趣味はエアダイブらしいや。
His adult big brown ear. Oh, that's cool.
ただ、次からは落下線をつけることをお勧めしますぜ。
飛び降りた後に思い出せたらね。
Cool. He smacked the steering wheel, guffawing, needing an explanation for this flippantly talking man. His name is Amakusa Juza. He was originally one of Aunt Eva's guards. Didn't she start to hate him because he chatted too much? He was much younger than the rest of the guards, but contrary to his outward flippancy, he'd hopped from the 1st Airborne of the JSDF to the French Foreign Legion, placing himself in overseas private military companies and high-class security companies one after another, making for a pretty incredible and unique career. He's like some super soldier. But I heard he deserted both the JSDF... Nomad Scholar, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. Look at this idiot. Look at this dork. He was apparently a super soldier. But I heard he deserted both the JSDF and the French Foreign Legion, and that he'll be arrested if he enters France again. Both of these flippant episodes were very typical of him. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being banned from France. I would never even go there willingly. The guards were sternly told not to chat with me unnecessarily, but he came and took a pass at me, didn't he? Aunt Eva was apparently particularly put off by that, and had supposedly dismissed him shortly before she died.
その軽口が懐かしいわ。クビになった後はどうしてたの？
ブラックウォーターでエクササイズの指導を。
Black water?
休暇で帰国したら、小此木社長に高給を提示されました。
で、また脱走？こんな男、何の役に立つのかしら。
来週までに帰りゃ脱走にはなりません。
Next week. Oh, I see.
話があったのは昨日です。お嬢が厄介な連中を呼び込むかもしれないと言われまして。
まさにその通りで申し訳ないわね。
お嬢と面識があってドタバタの経験も豊富ってことでご指名が来たんでしょうぜ。お嬢のおかげでハッピーな休暇と小遣い稼ぎになりそうです。
Hey, you know what, man? I respect it. Get that bag, King.
小此木さんがあんたを私の護衛に雇ったってこと？
お嬢に恩を売りたいんでしょうぜ。首の後、小此木の社長にはいろいろと世話になってましてね。
He has lore that maybe connects to Higurashi? Well, you know, whatever. I've heard that several times about several characters, such as Okanogi. And also, like, the witches making jokes about Higurashi and the Tea Party. So...
小此木さんの世話になると後々で高くつきそうね。で、あんたは私をどこに連れて行くつもりなの？
どちらへでも週末までは雇われてます。それ以降は別料金。
1日いくら
？5万で手を打ちます。
50,000.
経費は別ですぜ。
I guess that's no big deal. No big dent in the Ushiromiya fortune.
雇用期間は未定。何週間かになるかも。
そりゃ大変だ。ボスに休暇の延長を電話しないとなりませんぜ。
私、どうしてもあの日のことが調べたいの。
ああ、例の六軒事件。
そうよ。12年前にあの島で何があったのか、私の手で納得がいくように調べたいの。
そんな昔のことを今さら調べて、今さら新しい
Who
発見がありましたね。
knows? Maybe you can just go there.
そうね。だからこれは私の自己満足のための旅なの。それを終えたらネギでも背負ってスマデラの家に行くわ。かすみおばさん、私にお抹茶をご馳走したいとか言ってたっけ。 白剤の上に正座させられて石でも抱かされない。
That seems like an old school punishment.
そりゃおっかねえや。
The flashback dimension never ends. We're just stuck here.
見失いました。
A single man. Oh wait, that was him.
そう、ありがとう。残念よ、お好み。これがあなたのお返事だということでよろしいかしら。
I guess this is the well. Yeah, I guess it is a flash forward, even from Anji's perspective, because this is like an alternate take on what happened after she jumped off that building.
逃がしたのはあんたのヘマだ。俺の知ったこっちゃないね。
You're right. This is the flash forward dimension.
あなたにもぜひ今度お抹茶をご馳走したいわね。京都においでの際にはぜひお立ち寄りなさいな。行くわよ。
あれ、もう帰っちまうのかい？お茶漬けでも食っていけばいいのに。
I love women who laugh so ominously. Thunder rumbles behind them. Oh, she does the oh. With her back still facing Okanogi, she laughs softly, but with an increasingly shrill and hateful tone, using that as a substitute for a sharp, parting remark. Just as she stopped laughing, her features suddenly changed to look like a demon's, but because her back was facing him, Okanogi couldn't see that expression. Okanogi watched her go, laughing coolly. His secretary whispered over his shoulder.
よろしいのですか？源氏お嬢様は我が社の筆頭株主です。
Yeah, it'll be fine.
島寺家が後見人になれば。
知ってる。だがな、うちも天下の後ろ宮。
Well, not technically, but I guess sort of.
やられてたまるかってんだ。しかし、あいつうまく立ち回ってくれたようだな。あとはエンジェちゃんを好きにさせるさ。頼むぜ、天草。
霞様、逃走車両はレンタル。提示した免許証は偽装とのこと。
Very well thought out.
明らかにプロです。
This guy's
おそらく車
good.
両は放棄するでしょう。追跡は困難です。警察に追わせますか？
そうね。家出娘の捜索願いでも出そうかしら。税金を納めてるんだもの。警察にもたまには役に立ってもらわなきゃ。母上に私にお任せをと単価を切ってお屋敷を出てきたんだ。
Oh, I'm impressed your mother's still alive. She must be
私
horribly
に
old.
さらに恥をかかせるおつもり？あんたらまとめてお抹茶を振る舞った方が良さそうね。
You know, I feel like this matcha is a metaphor for something
地下
else.
のお茶室は狭いから順番待ちの行列になっちゃうかしら。
Bitch has got a dungeon?
全力で捜索します。
ああ、本当に可愛い子ね。姉さんに本当にそっくり。自分勝手で自由奔放なあたりが本当にそっくり。ああ、もう姉さんにしか見えなくなってきたわ。本当に楽しい。
This whole game is about women who really hate each other.
姉さんの
I've
娘をお
noticed.
茶室に
Kyrie
お
really
招き
hates
できる
a
なんて
dead woman. Now this woman really hates Kyrie who is dead. Rose, that's true. Rosa hates her own child. Women be hating.
島寺家、動きが早かったわね。私、お好みさんに売られた？
ご冗談を。俺のクライアントですぜ。お嬢を売ったなら俺を雇ったりはしませんぜ。
Huh? Huh? What's this? Huh? Really? Huh? Oh, interesting. Minions, servants, I've just received some very interesting news. from one of my servants over here off stream. We've received a leak. We have intercepted a transmission, and we have leaked a very important news in video game movie technology. You see, there's going to be an Umineko movie, and I have acquired the very first screenshot of what Battler will look like in that movie. Are you ready? I'm going to show you now. I've received the image. It's been downloaded into my database. Are you ready? Here it comes. In 3, 2, 1. Wait, hang on. I missed... There it is. Would you look at that? That's right, I've acquired the very first shot from the Umineko When They Cry film. The feature film releasing... I don't know. I actually didn't get that in the leak. I've just leaked this information directly to you. No, Scarlett Johansson, I hear, is playing, Anji. That's the only two confirmed actors. Feel free to theorize about who else is playing who. I hope this news has been important to you. Anyways, back to the game. I hope you enjoyed this news I brought to you exclusively.
それもそうね。
ああ、だから3階でエレベーターを降りたんですか。
地下駐車場に車が待ってるなんて手際が妙に良すぎたから。おこのぎさんに売られたかもしれないって思って。駐車場に待ち伏せがいたかどうかは今となっては証明不能だけどね。
I appreciate the car ambience.
なるほどね。社長め、気の毒に。お嬢に信用されてないらしい。その地下の車って俺のことです。
え？天草のことだったの？
着いたエレベーターが空だったんで焦りましたぜ。連中の無線を盗聴できてなきゃ今頃どうなってたやら。
Wait, he hacked their frequency?
つまり何？私が素直におこのぎさんを信じて駐車場に行ってれば、私は3階から飛び降りるなんて真似する必要もなかったってこと？
そうなりますな。ま、結果オーライですがね。
To be fair, Anji has earned her paranoia, I think, considering all the shit Eva did to her. What the hell? If I hadn't suspected President Okanogi, I could have easily escaped without getting caught in a tough spot. President Okanogi might have sold me out. No, since paranoia told me that it was better to assume that he'd sold me out, I suppose and concluded that he sold me out. Because of my inability to believe in him, regardless of his truth, my truth became he sold me out. See, that's the thing he was talking about, just like 10 minutes ago. I thought back on President Okanogi's words. Can you really call truth without certainty truth? Truth can change completely depending on whether you have love or not. In the end, perhaps truth itself doesn't exist. There are as many interpreted truths as there are people who speak of the truth. If I can't accept something that fluid as truth, where does the truth that I really want to find exist? And is it something I'll be able to see with my eyes? Even if someone sticks the truth right there in front of me and says it's the truth, I might not be able to see it. I know, we keep saying that. Where are we now? Is this... Okay, here's Burn Castle. I know, she's like, what? Have you just been watching this whole time, Burn? Like it's MST3K?
あなたは言ったわ。12年前の真実を探れと。 私に命じた。でもなんだかわからなくなってしまった。何が？真実って何？人の数だけ真実がある。
I'll be ashamed of my words and deeds when Knives Out 2 is the Umineko movie. I mean, that's what it's kind of shaping up to be, isn't it? Rich family on an island? I'm excited. The first one was great.
そしてそれは主観によって歪められ、いくらでも姿を変える。
I'm really looking forward to that movie.
そんなにも不定形であやふやな。
I'm excited for more Detective Foghorn Leghorn.
そう。
Naru declare.
真実は不定形。粒子のようであり、波のようでもある。箱の中の猫が生きていると思う。
Cat in the box. I should make a cat in the box count.
でも真実はとても繊細。それは観測されただけで姿を変えてしまう。シュレディンガーの猫箱とかいう話。
I know, yes, yeah, that one.
箱を開ければ真実。
Every VN got the.
開ける前の議論なんて机上の空論もいいところ。そうね。にもかかわらずその空論を否定するなら箱を開ける必要がある。開けられない箱の中身についてはあらゆる想像は否定不能。つまりは真実ということ。真実は否定されない限りその形状を維持する。
I mean, they were just talking about this with Eva, where like nobody knows for sure what happened, and she's the only survivor. So the cat is still in the box, no matter what you do.
観測されない限りその形状を維持する。つまり暴けなきゃどんな妄言も真実たり得るわけね。無限の想像はそれらが互いに矛盾していたとしても否定されず同時に真実として存在できる。家族みんなが六軒島の魔女に囚われて永遠に12年前に閉じ込められているというめちゃくちゃな話すら12年前に何があったかわからない限り。
I mean, no, that's just silly. Magic isn't real. Come on.
ベアトリーチェという魔女は12年前の六軒島に無限の想像の余地をこじ開け、そこを猫箱として全てを飲み込んだ。開かれぬ箱の中の全ては真実。
That's right. We don't know what happened on that island, so it becomes endless.
閉まったままならね。
That's why she's the endless witch, baby.
私がこじ開ければいいだけの話。でもその箱は12年前に閉じられ、どこにあるのかもわからない。
You gotta get back to the
六軒島
past.
に訪れたとしても、私は荒れ果てた島で12年前の何を知ることができるというの？さあ、何を知ることができるのかしら。いずれにせよそれは1998年という。
Ooh, this is interesting. I would love to know what Anj would find by going to Rokenjima in the future.
エンジェ・ベアトリーチェにしかできないことよ。ベアトリーチェのゲーム版は1986年10月4日から5日の2日間。つまりそれはあなたが彼女のゲーム版の外へ。
That's what the difficulty saying said. We're outside the game board.
そしてベアトリーチェですらこのゲーム版を超えた未来へは干渉できない。そうやって言われると私ってかなり優秀でずるい駒だわ。
Please nerf
あなたが
Angie.
身を置く12年後という未来は確かに遠い。しかし駒は未来に位置すれば位置するほど強い力を持つ。言ったでしょ。真実は観測されると姿を変える。そういえばこんな話を聞いたことがあるわ。ある日突然ケンタウルス座の恒星が爆発してしまっても、その爆発の光が地球に
Yes,
届く
that is how it
には
works.
4.4光年だから 4年半の月日が
The
必要
light,
にな
the
る。
light we're observing from stars is from like billions of years ago. I know this one.
つまりケンタウルスの太陽がすでになくなっているとして
I know this one. This is a
彼
classic.
に早く知覚する手段は存在しないのだから。
When we learn that the sun in Centaurus has exploded, we Earth people will paint over our history of 4.5 years ago with a new truth. We will revise history with a new fact, that it exploded 4.5 years ago. However, for the 4.5-year period until we learn that, despite the fact that it has already died, the mistaken truth that the sun of Centaurus still exists will be able to exist as truth. The truth of the future wins against the truth of the past.
そうよ。
It's a weird thing to think about, isn't it? That the stars we're seeing now are already long dead?
もともと
Even though we can still see them?
ただそれだけならば
Really brings into question the idea that reality is what we can perceive with our eyes, doesn't it? Sorry to get so
エヴァお
philosophical.
ばさんと後ろ宮家の財産をめぐる陰謀疑惑でしかなかった。しかしそれが後年オカルトによって脚色され、陰謀は魔女伝説として塗り替えられる。
Even though it was clambered over as a conspiracy at the time of the crime, later on, strange occult theories which claimed that it was the work of the witch ran rampant and began to paint over the truth of October 5th, 1986. The conspiracy theories will probably be forgotten over time, and only the more bizarre, impressive witch theory will continue to remain as superstition, eventually covering up the conspiracies. And I guess that's how Beatrice stays endless, doesn't she? That the story of the witch that killed everybody on an island persists even after the conspiracies about Eva killing everybody herself.
そう。
Yeah, it's Beatrice posting online. She's posting on like 4chan's X-board.
陰謀説という人間説だったかのよう。数年後に漂着した手紙入りのワインボトル、メッセージボトルがそれを
Oh right, Maria's message.
魔女説に遡って塗り替え始めた。そうよ。
That was mentioned at the very end of the first episode.
魔女なんて
Interesting. It's interesting that different aspects of the endings of each episode exist in Anji's future. Like, because in episode 1, everybody, including Eva, died. But Eva survived in this future, but also there's that bottle. Interesting.
その数年後にメッセージボトルによって私たち未来の人間に観測されたから魔女が六軒島を支配した。少し修正が必要よ。1986年の時点でも無限に存在できるあまたの可能性の中の一つとしてね。確かに観測されたら消えてしまう。猫箱の中に縮こまってね。だからメッセージボトルは悪質なのよ。魔女は箱の外に出ようとした。自らを観測させて魔女説以外の可能性を淘汰した。つまり自らを否定できないように魔女説以外の全ての可能性を否定したということ。なんてこと。
But I don't think that quite works because Anji and Eva were
つま
still
りベアトリ
around.
ーチェは悪魔の証明を正攻法で成し遂げたのよ。そしてそれは初めから魔女の計画に組み込まれていた。
So it only like sort of works.
メッセージボトルは1986年より未来に観測される情報ね。ベアトリーチェにもバトラにも観測できない。エンジェ・ベアトリーチェにしか観測できない。本当はメッセージボトルのことなんて調べたくなかった。だってそれを読むことは魔女の言い分を聞くのに同じ。魔女説なんて妄言を無視している私には時間の無駄でしかないと思ってた。でもおこのぎさんに言われたわ。片方の目だけじゃ物事を立体的に見られないって。
Right, you have to have depth perception.
魔女否定の視点と同時に魔女肯定の視点も必要ということ。それは正しい考え方よ。視点の数分母に同じ。
I guess this is what sets Anji apart from Battler.
視点の数が1では分子である
In the this triangle they've established.
しかし視点の数が増えれば増えるほど謎は割り算されていく。
Battler absolutely denies witches, whereas Anji stands somewhere in the
事
middle.
件の数年後、近隣の島に流れ着いたメッセージボトル。それは神塚の手に渡った。アポイントは一応取ってあるの。
I was able to hear Aunt Eva say from Okanogi-san. Next up is the witches say. Why don't I listen? The Beatrices say. Investigation! Wait, why is the clock moving? What time is it now? It's 3 o'clock almost? In the future or in the past? What a mysterious thing. Okay, we're back to the past. Gotta get back. I know, that sucks. But unfortunately, that is where we'll have to leave it tonight. I wanted to go a bit longer, but unfortunately some business came up, so that's how it's gonna have to be, yep. So thank you everybody for joining me. This has been a very interesting beginning to episode 4. So I've been enjoying it. Thanks to all the new followers tonight, which we received a few of. I am going to raid my friend Bridget. She and some friends of mine are doing a very stupid stream where they discuss which stands from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure could have stopped 9/11. So we're gonna do that. Any last moment new theories? Not really. I need to see more of this future before I get invested in that. So anyways, enjoy Bridget's stream where they talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Good night, everybody.